Okay, we're back. I had to reset the stream.
I am at the verge of untying my niece at this particular moment.
Okay, she's tied up.
She is tied up and gagged.
And gagged? Is that what you
Yes,
said?
ma'am.
Is there anybody else there?
Where are the kids? We have 5 small infants asleep.
5 small infants asleep?
Yes, ranging from 7 to 1.
7 to 1 years old?
Yikes.
Yes, ma'am.
Does she know,
Samantha, did you know who the suspects are?
can I talk to her? Is she able to speak?
Yes, ma'am.
Hello. Hi, Samantha. I know you're upset, but I'm going to ask you a couple questions. Do you need EMS?
No, they didn't do anything to be made me worse.
She's advising no. They only hit her once. Okay.
And I just asked my aunt if it was bruising or anything, and she said no, they hit me in the face.
Okay. They hit you in the face?
Yeah, they had me tied up and they dragged me down the stairs to face my husband. And when my husband went in to face me, they hit me in the face, like backhand slapped me. And so he looked at me then and they said, I thought that would get your attention. And I want you to stare at this woman. Do you want us to kill her? And he said no. And they said, then tell us the truth. And he said, I don't know anything.
When someone gives way too many details on a 911 call, this can be a warning sign that they may not be telling the truth. The purpose of a
think she did
911
okay,
call
honestly.
is to get help immediately. As Samantha is not currently in danger anymore, her primary focus should be on getting help finding her husband. Instead of requesting that officers be sent right away to search for him, she's telling an elaborate story about what supposedly happened.
I guess that's true, yeah.
There's
you wouldn't
no
want to tell
sense
the
of
whole,
urgency
the
in
whole
getting
story
her
over the
husband
phone.
found. If someone is lying on a call to emergency services, they may feel the need to offer up all these additional details because they want to support their lie. Samantha's love for acting isn't a secret after all.
I've always wanted to be an actress. I think it is so much fun. I've been extras in movies. I've had small parts in like short films, and I've done plays. I think it is so much fun, and it is so beautiful. It is one of the most amazing forms of art ever, to be able to express yourself that way. I think it's amazing.
Members of the Titus County Sheriff's Office respond to the crime scene shortly after 2 a.m. Immediately, an investigation into the violent home invasion and kidnapping of Ernie Ibarra Jr. is launched. The following footage is raw body cam footage recorded by Corporal Chris Durant and Deputy Ed Godoy just minutes after the twisted crime took place.
Sheriff's Office.
I'm upstairs. I'm sorry, sir.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay. Here.
Hey, are you
Pop
still
off
talking
phone
with
right quick.
Sheriff?
They told me that I have to stay.
She tell her you're here.
I did.
She still puts you
She
on
said
hotline.
she still has a few questions for me before I can get off.
Let me have it and I'll take care of it, and you talk to them.
This one's an hour.
Walk me through what happened.
I don't honestly know what happened.
Brother.
I was in bed asleep, and we heard a noise, and the second I was able to open my eyes,
Self-report. 100%. Voter off.
somebody grabbed me and jerked me out of the bed and slammed me down on the ground and started tying me up and put a knife to my throat and told me don't move.
Okay.
They were punching me over and over and over, and because he was fighting back, and I was just letting him do it. And
What's your husband's name?
Ernest Ibarra.
Ernest Ibarra. Okay.
The officer is conducting a
I feel really
typical
bad if I like said
investigatory
self-report and
field
it's just
interview
not.
at this point.
Insane.
However, these statements can be admissible in legal proceedings. The body camera footage can be reviewed by investigators and inconsistencies discovered between initial contact and later interrogation.
One of them did say the name Luke, but that's it. That was all. That's only
Luke.
in identifying anything I've got. One of them said, "Hey, Luke," and the guy turned, but that's the only identifying anything I've got.
Samantha changing her voice to imitate the alleged intruder may be an attempt to dramatize the attack in order to make it appear more believable. Although her voice is emotional, she doesn't actually express much concern about Dagan, and instead seems focused on telling the story about everything that happened to her. It's discovered that Dagan's phone was also taken by the assailants.
They took his phone, but they didn't take mine. I had mine hidden.
Uh-huh.
So I was able to.
So he's got his phone?
No, they have his phone.
Okay, that's what I'm talking about. What's his phone number? Huh? Well, I need that number. Get that number from me.
They cut my shirt off, and then after they made me stand there naked in front of him, threatening to do things to me. The guy said, "I can't do."
You were outside or here inside?
I was in the living room.
The living room?
When they took me to the living room, he said, "Get your shirt and get it quick, because I'm not this type of person." So I started rummaging through my closet.
So he's a
He
decent
said,
guy.
I said, "Get it quick," and pushed the knife against my throat. So I just grabbed whatever shirt
Okay.
and put it on.
Okay.
But he grabbed my shirt and he started cutting it. He cut it down the collar, and then he said,
What's your name?
"Samantha."
Samantha
Wolford.
Dude,
Wolford.
the voice. No, that,
Where's that shirt at? Is it downstairs? What color is it?
It's gray sweater.
Gray sweater? Okay.
That's what I was sleeping in.
Okay.
the voice is like terrifying.
I've got, the front door's been kicked in.
As he dictates details of the crime scene to dispatch, Samantha handles her own urgent business. She sends out a text message that reads as follows.
Hey, this is what we need to do. I need to do an emergency phone ping on, yeah. And I've got the cell phone number.
The phone service company is immediately contacted in hopes that the position of Dagan's phone can be traced and lead law enforcement to his location before it's too late.
Was the spray paint already on the walls?
Yeah, somebody broke in over Christmas time, or over Halloween time, and did that. He's already been out here once over this.
Okay.
They cut his hair off. I don't know why.
Is that
his hair.
that's his hair?
That's his hair.
Okay.
And he said,
And you said those are the pants he had on?
he said, "You're gonna want something of your husband," and choked a piece of his hair off and threw it on the floor.
Okay. You said those are his pants that he had on?
Yeah.
Where's the sweater you had on?
Dude, like if she set all this up, this is kind of crazy. That's she went in depth at least on like a bunch of stuff.
Okay.
I said I got another car pulling up. Let me go see who this is.
Due to the fact that I was dialing with my nose.
Hey, just stay out there for just a second for me, okay?
Can I go out there?
Well, let's get this checked out real quick. Because right now this is the most important thing, you know. Let's get this all figured out.
I don't see how me writing a statement is in the crucial hours of you finding my
Oh, look at the puppies.
It is because
Look at the cute little puppies.
I mean, this may help you trigger something to help us, you know.
They look like little Draxes.
2:02 a.m. His cell phone ping 0.86 miles from a residence in Pittsburgh.
You know anybody in Pittsburgh?
Contact Pittsburgh.
Samantha does, in fact, know someone in Pittsburgh, as it just so happens. As the deputy continues to gather information from Samantha, the corporal speaks with Samantha's mother, Rosie, and Samantha's Aunt Ginger.
Sir. How you doing?
Just fine.
You're the one that found her?
Yes, she's the one that found her. I'm the one she called.
Okay. So she called you first?
She called me.
Okay.
Bound and gagged, and then she called me. We live in Winfield.
Wait. Is this West Virginia?
Do we have any idea where her husband is?
That's what we're trying to figure out.
I'm assuming it has something to do with people that would be part of circle.
Wait, is this actually? It's gotta be, right?
It's the only thing I could possibly put together is that it had something to do with people that knew.
Samantha says that the intruders named someone she knows as the reason for the attack on her husband. For this person's privacy, as they were never proven to be involved in the case, we have redacted their name throughout. Samantha will continue to bring up this.
Bro, why they got a
person's
picture of me? This is West Virginia. They got a picture of me in their room. That's crazy.
name throughout the investigation. Samantha sends out yet another urgent text message at 3:19 a.m. reading. At this time, investigator Chris Bragg arrives at the scene and the corporal begins to bring him up to speed. Interestingly, the investigator is immediately skeptical.
So they've got a pretty volatile past, and we've arrested him before.
Yeah.
Assaulting her and the infant. Make sure she didn't do something to him and then stage the scene to make it look like something happened.
The investigator is developing what's called a theory of the case. This is the same theory of the case work that a prosecutor will do in order to paint a picture of the criminal activity, linking physical evidence, statements, and circumstantial evidence to prove guilt beyond a reasonable doubt.
He looked down and he had cuts on the top of his head, and they had him kneeling right here, and they cut part of his hair off.
After a brief search of the first floor, the corporal then guides the investigator to the staircase that leads to the bedroom where the attack began.
So they kick the door, come up these stairs, and get them before they're able to know what's going on.
Yeah, that's the only part that's getting me is how do you... They would have to either be familiar with the place to be able to do all that and know where they were asleep. And the babies are asleep in there.
Both members of the sheriff's office observe that the conditions in the home are not ideal for children to live in after viewing the area where all 5 children lay sleeping, though the body cam doesn't capture a clear view.
Pitiful conditions.
Yeah.
I'm not really seeing a whole lot of blood, though, for somebody that was pistol whipped.
Yeah,
the
for
investigator
real.
proposes they have Samantha come upstairs to provide more specifics.
I haven't seen it or anything.
Smoking that cigarette.
All that. I don't know what's going on with or what could have possibly got himself tied into caused this. But they kept saying, cause this, cause this. Asking for compensation, $20,000.
$20K.
Remember this. It'll be important later on in the story.
The
20K, I'll remember that.
If you would just hold tight with her, so I'm gonna go get some evidence bags and I'll be right back. I'm gonna grab my camera, I'll be right back.
Are you guys trying to accuse me of something?
What? No. Who said that? Literally, who said that? Like, what? Nobody said a single thing, woman. And you just go, are you trying to accuse me?
Her story immediately falls apart
here we go.
Though Samantha's reaction is typical of someone caught in a lie. However, this is why all subjects under questioning should request counsel and refuse to answer questions. Police motives are not frequently known, though it's common to start with a large pool of suspects and eliminate them, rather than start with an empty pool and try to add likely suspects. This means you're immediately classified as a suspect or material witness until proven otherwise during the investigation phase.
What kind of gun is that?
The Glock.
Standard issued or?
Mm-hmm.
Can I see it?
Hmm?
Can I see it? Can you take it out?
What?
No. Then I had to do paperwork.
Really? I just was gonna see comparatively to the gun they had. I don't know guns, but the gun he had wasn't very big, or his hand wasn't very small, one or the other. It fit pretty closely to his hand size.
This is a very odd request, given the circumstances.
That's what I'm saying.
It's noteworthy that in the midst of Samantha's chit-chat with the officer, she doesn't appear to stress that her husband is missing. It's possible that this is her attempt to be friendly and distract the officers from the situation, since she may believe at this point that police may consider her a suspect.
What them kept saying, took someone from us. The only thing I can figure is they're saying, like, narked on someone. They said something about now he's behind bars.
What time did y'all go to bed last night?
Around 11.
Just a couple hours before the invasion occurred. Next time, she'll have a different answer to the question.
Uh-oh.
How old your babies?
The youngest.
1. You got 4? 5? They were in there squirming a minute ago.
to see what is going on.
Investigators are doing their thing.
Samantha doesn't seem overly concerned about her children, but it seems she's already growing
She worried
impatient
about
with the
something else.
investigation. Little does she know, this is just the very tip of the iceberg. At 6:10 a.m., just a few short hours after the violent home invasion and abduction of Samantha Wolford's husband, Dagan, she arrives at the Titus County Sheriff's Office in northeastern Texas. It's here that the disturbing story will start to unfold.
Oh, we're in Texas. Okay. Okay, we're not where I thought we were.
Samantha places a call
Geo
to her
gets her
mother,
skills
but
have failed me.
displays almost no emotion during the course of the conversation. She appears very self-centered, and her behavior is quite strange for a woman whose husband is missing.
I would like something. I'm sorry to death. Biscuits and gravy, no sausage. Biscuits and gravy, no sausage, and french fries.
Samantha gives her mother a food order over the phone. It's surprising she has an appetite at a time like
For
this.
real, I feel
She
like I
lays
wouldn't have
on
an
the floor,
appetite,
which
you know?
is very childlike and is an unexpected behavior for an adult. Samantha consistently acts like more of a high school student rather than an adult mother of 5.
She's a mother of
Chris,
5.
the
That's
investigator,
crazy.
enters the room.
Yeah, Pittsburgh is very far from Texas.
Have you heard anything?
We're still working on everything. Each one. Think for me.
I feel like there's something he hasn't been telling me, but I don't know what.
What's your gut feeling tell you?
I think it's something to do with.
What do you think would be going on?
Well, what do you mean? What's
I
redacted?
hate, and I'm usually right, and I hate that, but he has a problem.
Drug
with
problem.
getting involved in things that he don't need to be getting involved with.
Samantha seems to be setting up a potential motive as to why the attack and kidnapping may have occurred.
Drugs.
She continually brings up the same person in her speculations about what may have happened.
Just trying to get
See,
that,
but using
that false
drugs?
narrative going.
No,
What about you?
no. And I can take a test right now.
This is a convincing statement, which can be a red flag for possible deception.
Yeah.
When someone is being truthful, they're more likely to just provide a straightforward denial. However, when someone is lying, they often feel some anxiety
I
about
feel
whether
like-
they will be
Yeah, I feel like that's true. I didn't think about that. Like if somebody said, "Have you taken any drugs?" I'd just say no.
believed or
I wouldn't
not.
say test me.
So they may add on these types of convincing statements to support their lie.
Yeah.
So have you had in the past used any drugs?
Me?
Yes, you
No.
have.
Never
Yeah,
been
you have.
involved?
Yes, you have.
It's interesting that
Yes, you
Samantha
have.
states she's never been a drug user.
Yes, you have. We can
However,
tell. We can
David
all
Smith,
tell.
a former friend of both Dagan and Samantha, alleges otherwise.
Because there was one that come out there that drove a little silver Jeep Liberty. He was supposed to be some kin to her, supposedly. But I found out later from Jeremy Rule that he was her pill dealer.
Oh.
Needless to say, Samantha's credibility is becoming increasingly questionable.
You remember about what time it was when you went to bed?
I looked up at the clock and it was like 12:01, and I was like, yeah, you've got to get to bed because you have to be up in 5.5 hours.
Sure.
I thought they were asleep by 11.
Samantha says she and Dagan went to bed at midnight, contrary to the 11 o'clock time she gave a
I don't know. I guess
responding
sometimes like. Sometimes I say like I'm going to bed, and then I go to bed, and then I stay up for like another hour in bed. You know.
officer at the scene of the crime,
Maybe that's
as you
what she
may
meant,
recall. Already, her story is beginning to change.
What's your first memory of what's going on? What's happening?
Well, I took an Ambien, so it makes it a little harder for me to wake up. And I have a prescription with me if you want to see that. But when I can't sleep,
She's so defensive.
supposed to shut your brain down so you can go to sleep, but
She's
also make it so you
super
can wake up
defensive for
really
no reason.
easy.
Samantha gives 2 more inconsistent statements back to back. When someone gives inconsistent statements, it can be a red flag that someone is lying.
Yeah.
After telling one lie, there are likely additional lies that must be told to support the original lie.
I want to
It
know
can
like
be
what moment
difficult
she
to
like
keep track
slips
of
up
everything they've already
heavily.
said.
You know, like what
So
point
liars
they
may
really
get tripped up on details and give
they
conflicting
find out.
information.
You know.
It's possible that after she made the first statement about having a hard time waking up, she may have been worried about how that made her look, especially being a parent to 5 young children. She may be trying to backtrack because she wants to be viewed in a good light so that her story about Dagan is believed.
Of course. I remember at some point it was a little after 1, I saw the clock. Maybe on my phone. So it's still pretty foggy because it's fairly early to wake up after taking a sleeping pill.
Nothing adds up, considering she'd taken a prescription sleeping pill and was woken up suddenly.
Yeah.
She shows little emotion and talks as if she's reading from a script. Individuals who've been traumatized rarely remember details in this way. Of course, this could be explained as Samantha trying to give the investigator as much information as possible in an attempt to find her kidnapped husband. However, the fact that Samantha has repeatedly given confirmation to the investigator that he can double-check her story, such as verifying her Ambien prescription, suggests that Samantha is trying to preemptively dismiss any suspicions the investigator might have about her story.
They said, you want us to have to kill her too? And he said, no, please don't harm my kids. And they hit him in the mouth. Are my kids okay? And they hit him in
Dude,
the
for as
mouth.
much as they're getting hit, I feel like there's gotta be some blood.
And they flew out of his mouth. I don't know if it was a tooth or if it was just spit or blood. Something flew out of his mouth because they had the lights on down there.
She's trying her
And
best.
he started cutting my
Yeah,
clothes
she's
off
trying
and
to
making me stand in front of him naked.
This part of the story seems to be fabricated. The sweater she claimed to have been wearing had no obvious cuts.
She didn't recognize the voice or nothing about it.
I tried listening to everything. They forced him to tell me not to call the police. And he said, don't call the police. And they punched me in the mouth with the gun. And said, that's not what I said for you to tell her. He said, please tell me what to say again. Please just repeat it. So they repeated it. I couldn't understand what they were saying because they were so close to his face and growling in his ear. He said, Sam, don't call the police. I don't care what happens. Don't call the police because they'll come back and they'll kill all the kids. Promise me. And he was screaming at me and I was like, I promise.
However, the 5 children nearby remained asleep through all of the chaos. The police, as well as Samantha's aunt, will scrutinize this assertion later.
I know you said something
Yeah.
about some money or...
Yeah. He said, what do I have to do? Please don't kill me. What do I have to do? And he said, $20,000. You want to know what you have to do? Can you come up with $20,000 in the next 5 minutes?
Yeah, just let me put in this live parlay real quick. For 20 grand, I bet. Just gotta do a little live betting real quick. I can do it.
Kind of laughed.
Now, what did the handgun look like?
It was just black. I don't know anything about guns.
Do you know the difference between like a revolver and an automatic?
Oh, it was definitely like a police pistol. It was
A revolver and an
whatever those
automatic?
are.
Semi-automatics. It wasn't a...
It was small, barely bigger than his hand.
Like semi-automatic.
You may recall that she had specific questions for the corporal at the crime scene.
What kind of gun is that?
Hmm?
What kind of gun is that?
The Glock.
The investigator now shifts the conversation to a different aspect of routine investigation. It could very well be that this is where things start moving in an undesirable direction for Samantha.
You two weren't fussing, you weren't fighting, didn't get out of hand, you didn't punch him, kick him, stab him, shoot him, nothing like that. I'm not going to find out anything any different later once we get there, because the deputies, they're out there right now, basically searching your house from top to bottom for every piece of physical evidence that we can find to do.
Anything that'll help them find it.
It could be a red flag that there appears to be a verbal and nonverbal disconnect here. She's shaking her head no while giving her permission for detectives to search her house. Partway through this statement, she switches to nodding her head yes, possibly realizing that she made a mistake.
Well, like I said, that's why I want to make sure, because we're going to be checking your phone records, your family's phone records.
Normally, when the police want to search something, the Fourth Amendment requires them to obtain a search warrant.
Right.
Otherwise, the search is unconstitutional, and the evidence they obtain will be tossed out of court. However, the police can obtain certain types of records without a search warrant. For example, the police could get a suspect's call records from their phone company. Normally, this record will only show the police what numbers a person called and at what time.
I need to know the truth. I have to absolutely know the truth, that you had no possible involvement.
Dude, I want to know what piece of evidence they find against her.
You love her?
I wouldn't have gone back if I didn't.
What are you willing to do to help me find him?
Whatever it takes.
You don't know where he is?
No, I don't. I wish I did.
You're positive?
I'm positive.
You have absolutely no idea where he's at.
No, I don't.
Do you know who we can call to find where he's at?
The only one I can think is because they kept bringing him up.
Other than that, you have no
Other than that, I have no idea. None.
Her palms go up in the rogatory position, which indicates that she may lack confidence in her statement.
She lacking that
Palms up while
confidence.
making a declarative statement is seen as a big red flag because it suggests the person is pleading with the other person to believe them and may be unsure in what they're saying.
He doesn't have any friends. I don't go out much. The one friend that I do really have lives in Sulphur Springs. I don't like drama. I don't like having outside chaos, so I just stay home. I'm just a stay-at-home mom.
Hey, that's me right there.
Samantha continues to attempt to steer the investigation towards the same person she named. She portrays herself simply as a stay-at-home mom. However, her homemaking skills seem to be lacking based on the condition of her house.
Dude, this guy just roasted her. A
As
messy
the police
house.
observe, the environment in the home is obviously not fit for children. In a report later drafted by investigator Chris Bragg, who is currently questioning Samantha, vivid details of the terrible conditions in the Ibarra household are laid out. The rooms are unclean and unsanitary, with trash, urine, feces, clothes, and dirty diapers scattered on the floor.
I'm obsessed with like making sure an animal is being taken care of the way it deserves to be taken care of. They're like children. They can't take care of themselves.
Chris describes the children as dressed in dirty clothes and appearing not to have been bathed recently. We pick back up as Chris continues to press Samantha.
And I'm watching this guy punch him in the face with a guy over and over.
How did that make you feel?
Horrible. I was hysterically bawling.
So it didn't make you feel glad or
No.
there's some torture?
No.
Because you told me that you felt good about, wanting to stab him, kill him.
At some point in time, everybody loses their temper, but have I ever acted out and hurt anybody?
I don't know, you tell me.
You can look at my record on that.
When she says you can look at my record, this is what is known as a convincing statement. When someone is lying, they may make statements such as this that sound compelling in order to convince the other person.
What she was doing earlier.
However,
Still
someone
doing it.
who's telling the truth is less likely to use convincing statements because the facts are on their side.
I have one count of criminal mischief, and that was because I tossed my keys to somebody and let them use my car.
Sure.
And they didn't have a license.
Now, when they cut your shirt off of you, was it violent or did they just take
Yes.
their time and just?
No, they jerked it out and started slashing at it with this apparently dull box cutter, and then when it didn't work, ripped it off over my head and threw it to the side.
So it wasn't completely cut in half or anything?
No, they started cutting like they were going to cut it down or across, and the blade wasn't working, so they said and ripped it off over my head.
But as far as tonight, you had nothing to do with
No.
this. You don't know who did anything.
No.
You're positive about that?
Yes.
Well, what I need you to do for me is make me a list of everybody, friends, family, contact numbers, his boss, where he works at Little Caesars, his boss where he works at the Talcott Woodcraft.
The investigator exits the room and leaves Samantha to her list. A few minutes later, Sheriff Tim Ingram enters the room and tries his hand at getting to the truth with Samantha.
And this is why that it's very important, hon, that we want you to be honest, because I'm going to tell you what, the evidence we found on the scene, it's just not matching. I don't think you harmed this boy, but I think you know who did, because there's somebody going to kidnap
I see.
you.
That's the
Why
kind of cop work I like. Even though he knows like she probably did do it, he likes to take the blame off her because it takes the suspect like out of the context of the situation. So they kind of like that, and they're more likely to talk. If he just said, "I think you did this," she would just shut down, probably get way more defensive.
Pickup. Kidnappers ain't gonna use their pickup to do something with him and then put him out there and put him in the truck and haul him back.
In his pickup, he was
Yeah.
what?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, somebody,
know.
it's apparent to me that somebody used his truck.
When someone is feeling
Here
especially
we go,
anxious,
the
their mouth
coughing.
and throat may become
The
drier,
coughing
which can lead
begins.
to increased throat clearing, swallowing, or coughing. If any of these
There's no way She could beat the last girl, though. I already forgot her name. Ellen. every little
Behavior
sip of water.
start or increase suddenly, it can be a sign to detectives that they're on the right track and need to question the suspect further. Samantha's cough here could be related to this. She may be panicked about the news that blood was found in his truck, and the cough is an attempt to reduce the discomfort and dryness she feels in her throat.
To take him somewhere after he was assaulted at y'all's house.
I told him that they got into his truck because they wanted his ID. Because they said they needed to verify 100% they had the right person, is what they said. I don't know if they were one of the people that hit him or not. They sent somebody out to the truck to get his wallet to check his ID.
What?
Came back in and said, yes, he is who he says he is.
What? They still don't explain why his blood is in that truck.
They hit him in the face like 100 times.
Well, no, but you said they went out and did it and got it. He was never supposed to be in that truck.
If they had blood on their hands and got in the truck.
No, it's drip blood. It's not.
It's drip blood?
Yes, he was in that truck. And this is what's going to look so bad is from
this
your
is
story.
where this
And
is just all.
You don't have to be a suspect, and I still don't think you did it. I don't think you're strong enough to do it. But I think you're scared. I don't know if you had a boyfriend that he found out about.
The investigator is attempting to establish the existence of accomplices, and from there, the existence of one or more conspiracies.
I didn't have a boyfriend.
Okay. I don't know what the deal is, but Sam, you've got your kids was in the same room.
It's telling that Samantha says she's being as honest as she can. This may be another convincing statement. It sounds reasonable, but someone who's telling the entire truth likely wouldn't feel the need to make claims about being an honest person. In addition, Samantha's statement here may have some level of truth to it. She's being as honest as she can be without incriminating herself. Adding on "as I can" may be an exclusion qualifier, which allows her to tell the detective some of what happened while withholding information about her specific role in the crime.
There's just the whole layout of your house and the way you said they took him. It's just not making sense.
The interrogator is doing a good job of appearing neutral. Despite the evidence pointing to Samantha being dishonest with him, he makes it out as if he is on her side. The more she trusts the detective, the more likely she will be to confess.
Okay. All right, we'll finish writing your statement before we let you in, okay? You need something to drink?
He left my phone. Where did he take that?
Well, we've got a search warrant for your phone. That phone's gonna be ours for a while. Because the every call you've made probably in the past year, we're gonna have to look at.
Okay.
Your text message, your thing. So we've got a
Look at her face. Look at that face. You know what that face is? It's the face of guilt. That's the face of, oh God.
Search warrant for your phone. Okay?
Okay. I'm telling you everything I know. I'm repeating
Homer.
everything they've said.
Okay. Well, just go ahead and
popping off.
You got your statement. We'll get back with you in, okay?
You can look at my record. I'm not somebody that gets into trouble.
Sit right there and tell me
She
the
keeps
same
saying
story
that.
just like you're telling me. And
You can look at my record.
And in the end, when the evidence come in, they sat there and we knew all along they were lying. We knew all along the story was made up.
Detectives want suspects to think they know more than they actually do, or that they're about to find some crucial piece of evidence, leaving suspects panicking about how much police actually know. Investigators want suspects to feel the time pressure to confess.
I think you still get it,
It's
though.
in the suspect's best interest to do so before it's too late.
I will be the first person to come forward because I want it found.
So let me ask you something. How did you call for help if you was tied up?
I used my nose.
Dude, is that even possible? Is that even possible? You think it's possible, yes or no? You think right now, Zach, if I tried, could I call you with my nose? Should we test this theory? What's the chance I could do it? It's possible? Alright, Starcher, I'm calling you right now. Let's see if I'm gonna pretend like I'm tied up. I'm tied up. Is this actually possible? Wait, first off, how do you like? Wait, if I'm tied up, how do I get my phone unlocked? Do I gotta like? Okay, I see. Oh, you know what? You know what? That's actually not that bad. That's actually not that bad, actually. I definitely could call you. I believe. I unlocked my phone and everything, so. Alright, we'll let her survive that round.
So they didn't take your phone in. They left your phone there.
They asked me if I had
Dude,
a phone.
if they were smart criminals, if they were actual, any kind of criminals, if they were dumb criminals or whatever, they're taking that phone and they're smashing it or some shit.
I told them no, and they asked him.
So how'd you get to it? How'd you get to
I
it?
wiggled on my side.
Oh, yeah? Wiggle, 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 boo, 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 boo.
I was on this side of the upstairs.
The story is just
up underneath the edge of the bed.
alibi
on
is
this
just
side of the upstairs.
Who did you call?
My mother was the first number on my call list. I just used my face. And
So instead of calling 911 for help, you called your mother?
how do you press 911 with your face?
Okay. Skill div. So, wait. How do you press anything, but you can't press 911? Oh. Come on now. It just don't make sense.
Well, how did you dial your mother with your face?
I didn't dial my mother. I just pushed the first thing that was on there. It had just happened to be my mom.
Although Samantha may believe this is a reasonable explanation, you'll encounter another witness who will tell the sheriff's office that they observed Samantha with her phone simply laying on her lap in the aftermath of the attack. Next, the sheriff wants to hear about what's been going on in Samantha's personal life.
Well, now see, here's something else I don't understand. Maybe you can help explain.
6 out of 9 Rays had an
Talk about how
RBI.
much you love Ernie, right?
I was going to pick a Rosaran RBI in the last second. I swapped to a Jose Siri run.
But though you're talking to Brian, you're talking to Alan.
He did the unforgivable. Let's see, betting on the Yankees, betting on the Padres to win. What's unthinkable?
I'm not allowed to have
Unforgivable, I mean.
friends because I'm married.
Oh, no.
Don't tell me you put 100 on it.
No, not that kind of friend. When people like you, No, do you think that's normal? For married people to...
In the world nowadays, in general, I think more people.
Tell me you didn't throw it on it. Tell me you didn't. Tell me you... That's not, you're lying.
age,
You're lying.
I wish I could marry somebody like my dad. He's great to my mother. There's nobody else ever that could turn his eyes from her. He's the perfect husband.
Okay.
God knows I didn't marry anyone. He cheated on me more than once, and I think every once in a while to hear that I'm beautiful and to hear that I am an attractive person and that I am not the most horrible person in the world, it's nice.
This could be an attempt to not only justify her actions in talking to other guys, but it could also be a deliberate attempt to portray her husband in a negative light. She's hinting toward verbal abuse by claiming that he would tell her how horrible she is. This seems especially unusual given the fact that her husband is still missing. Most people would avoid speaking ill of a loved one who's missing or recently deceased. She may be setting up a possible defense if it's later proven that she was involved in his disappearance.
Did Ernie ever look at your phone?
Yes, all the time.
Did he see those messages where you've been talking to them guys?
Yeah.
What'd he say?
Nothing. He didn't particularly like it, but after what he put me through, he told me as long as I didn't bring anything home or do anything at the house, then he didn't want to hear about it. He didn't want to know about it. And I told him, I'm not cheating on you. Yeah, these guys tell me I'm beautiful, and they tell me that I'm,
I smell some
I go to my
beers.
mom's house, and I go to the bar, and I go dancing.
Earlier, Samantha claimed that she didn't go out much and was...
Yeah, dude, just absolutely flopped. Dude, Zach, what are you doing? No shot you did that, Zach. Why would you do that? You didn't even ask me or Aaron or nothing. Why would you do that? You should have put it on Logan Gilbert. Or what happened to Ray's money line tomorrow?
Just a stay-at-home mom. Now that detectives are questioning her about the guy she was talking to, she suddenly changes her story. She may have given
What do you mean it looks so good? Bruh.
the first
That's
statement
crazy.
because it supported the narrative she was trying to weave about how she was a homebody who didn't know anyone who could be involved in her husband's disappearance. However, now that detectives have evidence of her text with other guys, she needs to support this new narrative.
And yeah, I may have a little too much to drink and someone says, hey,
That's
can
a
I
big
have your
rip.
number?
That is a
And I'm gonna
big
give it
old
to him.
rip.
But that's as far as it goes.
Samantha seems preoccupied with others recognizing her as beautiful, given her repeated use of the word to describe herself.
Why'd you just put the 100 on it? I thought me and you and Aaron were gonna like make a choice on what to put it on.
This could be a possible indication of her having narcissistic traits.
Anyway, sorry, like this little button came up on the corner of my screen and I pushed it. Now my lighting is different and it's making my face look all splotchy and I don't know that I like it. I'm a little vain, I guess.
A narcissist requires excessive admiration. She may have felt like she didn't get the recognition from her husband that she felt entitled to, so she sought out that attention from other men.
Hey, in your statement, you might want to just go ahead and write in there after you talk about what happened tonight. You might just want to talk about and put in there that you have been friends with, because who's to say that one of these guys didn't set it up to try to get you where you're single and I can come in and get you and just use that as a ploy.
See, and that's what I'm saying. I may know something without even realizing I know something.
The detective is laying groundwork for the theme development stage of
Bro,
the read
this chick,
technique
bro, she's
by
so
suggesting
stupid.
that one of the men who was interested in her had something to do with her husband's disappearance.
This chick's so stupid, bro.
If she can admit to this possibility, it will be easier for her to later admit to having knowledge of it, and then eventually to her confessing that she was actively involved. When the sheriff mentions that perhaps one of her male acquaintances set this up to make her single, she grasps at this idea as another motive. She may be realizing her story and acting aren't going over as well as she'd imagined. Once again, she's the victim. It seems she'll do anything to deflect attention from herself.
In October, things blew up. He laid his hands on me. I put criminal trespass on him, not on his sister, because she was acting crazy and harassing me. My friend David Smith had talked to me earlier, said he might come by later that night. I told him it was probably not the best idea. Why? Ernie gonna be there?
Hey, if I'm gonna keep it hush, I'm gonna need some hush money. I'm gonna need some hush money. That's what I'm gonna need.
Who's this David Smith?
He called in and reported that he was there. Then when he realized that I intended on giving him the chance to be the better person he says he's going to be, and to go through the criminal trespass or the anger management courses and go through and do what he says he's going to do, and I'm going to give him that chance out of home on his own without having a judge to force him to do it.
So,
Bro, who does this chick?
Yes,
is he jealous?
severe. Yes,
Is he very
severe.
jealous of you?
This is different than what she said earlier about
What?
how Ernie
Dude, this isn't even the same chick. It's like a whole different interview.
told her she could do
Literally, she
whatever
switched
with
everything.
whomever, as long as it wasn't at their house. Samantha appears to enjoy being in the role of the damsel in distress.
It's crazy.
And having David Smith and these other men come and save her from her allegedly abusive husband. This is another example of Samantha's need for attention, which is common among individuals with narcissistic personality disorder.
Yes. David Smith hit him up.
Hey, dude, at least he's not coloring. At least he's not coloring like the last chick.
Been hanging out. I hadn't intended on ever hearing from Dagon again, Ernie. I had never intended on speaking to him again. He cheated on me and he laid his hands on me. I was done. Well, his sister talked his way back in, and he said he loves you, blah, blah, blah. He wants to be with you. Well, I was on a Skype conversation with him, and David was at the house, and he heard it.
What did he do?
He got freaking furious and started freaking out on me and treating me like crap.
This is where she tries to turn into the victim. This is where she just pulls. She's starting to play the victim card a little
And
too hard.
threatening me. David, this
It's
guy
really it looks bad because it's just giving her more of a motive, honestly.
was a friend and only a friend, wanted to be with me. And when he realized that I had intended on going back to my husband, he freaked out.
I need to find out where David lives. If you say he lives close to you, I need to find out where he lives at. Rita? Hey, there is one other way that we can make absolutely sure and clear you. We can give you pocket.
We're gonna clear you. Oh God. The old polygraph test.
Do you mind me speaking to my mother before I completely agree to that?
Dude, honestly, being a detective has to be the easiest job ever. It's just so easy. They just get themselves caught. Honestly, like.
Well, but now if you have nothing to hide, why would you want to talk to your mama?
Exactly. She's gonna say, "Well, I've never taken one, and I just don't know if it's the right move. I don't know if I trust them."
Guys, it's nothing against you personally, but just cops in general. You hear such negative things and how they are not out to help you, and CPS is the same way. And I just kind of want to get my mom and dad's opinion on if it's in my best interest.
You know what? You know what I think?
Oh
I
God!
think it's not gonna be long. I think they're locking your butt up. What I think.
What? Dang, bro! The officer just laid that down. God. Why do you say butt though, dude? You gotta lay down the hammer right there.
I think you've been lying to me this whole thing. You did get them right. I think you're a liar. What I think.
Oh, he's him. He's literally him. Calls her out.
I think you know exactly who did this. And I don't buy your freaking story for a minute.
God.
That's what I think. So
Close your mouth, honey. You got your mouth open like that.
I'll tell you what. Let's do. Let's just get on with it.
It seems that the interrogator's anger is an intended tactic here. It evokes
Bro.
the desired reaction from Samantha, but it can also
She's
be a
shook.
setback to the overall interrogation's
Well,
progress.
now she's not going to trust him at all. Like, she's not going to talk to him at all, probably. She's going to go, I can't believe you would think I would do something like this. Look at my record. I've never done anything like this before in my life.
The trust created is now gone. This is a change-up used only when there is overwhelming evidence against the suspect. Hearing this, Samantha may be experiencing the freeze response here. Her body is completely still,
She's
with her
disconnected.
mouth hanging open.
She's literally disconnected.
When someone senses danger, such as Samantha realizing here that police don't buy her story one bit, they may cease all movement. This is an instinctual response to danger. Movement invites attention, so freezing may make someone momentarily feel like they can lower the spotlight on them.
That's why I say I've tried to really be honest with you.
And that's why
yet I feel that you have done nothing but sitting here this whole time. If I'm gonna tell you right now, DPS is dang good at them. If you ain't got nothing to hide, and what bothers me is you even hesitate to take that, knowing it would positively clear you or to positively show that you're hiding something. But what's going to make you guilty is when we prove that you lied to us in here.
The sheriff indicates that lying will essentially make her guilty. This is somewhat misleading. Though, as stated previously, the police are legally allowed to mislead suspects so long as they do not
When your
coerce
head
them
1-2 in
into
the
a
count,
confession.
throw him a little change up.
Nevertheless, the inconsistencies between Samantha's statements and the evidence could be used to suggest that she is aware of her own guilt and is using lies to cover it up. Therefore, the investigator is trying to establish knowledge of guilt, or more commonly referred to as consciousness of guilt. This is most often established by circumstantial evidence related to the suspect's actions or inactions after a crime.
That is the case that I do know who did it and why they did it.
Okay.
Doesn't that make me like an accomplice?
Nope. You sure? No. No, that makes you a scared mother with children.
Interestingly, Samantha asked the sheriff about being
What?
an accomplice. The law usually treats accomplices just as it would principals, meaning that accomplices can face exactly the same legal penalties. Most states hold a person criminally liable if they aid or abet another in the commission of a crime. The classic example of this is a getaway driver for a bank robbery.
Why would she say that?
Importantly, this is a distinct concept from conspiracy. A conspiracy is when two or more people make an agreement to commit a crime, and at least one individual within the group takes some overt act towards committing the crime. In such a case, all conspirators are criminally liable for the conspiracy.
The only other thing I know, and I don't even know, I know,
okay,
but it's a suspicion.
Okay.
Let's hear it. Who did it? Who is it? Who did it? Let's hear it. One of your let me guess. You're gonna say you cheated You're gonna say you cheated on him. You found a software? Bet. You're gonna say you cheated on him, and that maybe it's that guy.
I've been up at the hospital with my friend Charlotte.
Okay.
And she's got a guy there, and I swear to God, I cannot go up there that I said any of this.
Okay.
Because they have a lot of friends around here, and my life will be in a lot of danger.
Okay.
But the only other thing I know is venting to her and talking to her about problems. Like I just told you, I have a problem with talking to my friends about our problems. I don't have many of them. So when I do get with one of my friends, I want to talk about
What? Spit it out, woman.
any problems we might have had. And honestly, lately, it hasn't been many.
Okay.
We have had problems in the past. And
I thought we were about to talk about somebody.
Okay, go with it.
And she's got this guy in the room with her, and he gets to talking about how a man shouldn't treat a woman that way, and how you don't do those things to a person, and he's going to deal with the situation. I didn't take him seriously.
Okay, you see, Sam, you know who did this, but that does not make
But I
you
don't
guilty.
have any proof that he did. I just have what he said.
Okay, who is this guy?
His name's John.
John who?
His
John Starcher.
Facebook is Rebel. John Rebel. It's John. I don't truly know his last name, but his Facebook says John Rebel.
At this point, it seems Samantha's crying could be attributed to the fact that
This
her
is
story
her
isn't
last
yielding
plan.
the results she'd hoped for.
So maybe
rather than because
throw out
Dagan
somebody's
is
name
missing.
and get him
This
just
behavior is
arrested.
consistent with her narcissistic tendencies. At this time, Samantha first mentions an acquaintance known as John Rebel. Herein
Starcher, we
begins
all
a
know it
turning
was you.
point in this complex story as a new persona begins to evolve.
He's got a brother named Greg. He's got a really bad history as far as.
Who's Greg?
I was told he's an informant. I don't know Greg's last name
Where does
either.
John live?
I don't know. I know that he's been staying with Charlotte.
So if he did this, who do you think he'd bring with him?
Greg. I think he'd be Greg.
But yesterday at the hospital, he had a guy that I do know from town with
It was
him.
Russell, bro. It was Russell and his
His name is
protection
Tay.
agency. That's how it's all related.
Tay Rhymes.
Samantha is beginning to let all of the cats out of the bag.
Yeah, I feel like
In
she's
a
just
few
busting
short
all her
minutes,
drug
she's
dealers.
implicated John Rebel,
You know,
who
I
will
feel like these guys are the ones who deal her pills and stuff, and she's just throwing them.
be identified as John Sanford, and Tay, whom investigators will learn is a man by the name of Octavius Rhymes.
Octavius
The pace of the
Rhymes,
investigation
bro.
is
That's a
beginning to
sweet name.
accelerate and will continue to pick up speed as the disturbing details begin to surface.
Octavius
Did they
Rhymes.
do something to let you know that there was them inside that house?
Not 1,000% particular, but I'm pretty sure it was him. The height and the weight and the way he was talking all gangster
You
and
pull yourself together and get to writing, and we need to arrest these folks and keep them off the street where they can't hurt you and your children.
there was a third person with them.
Dude, shut up. Shut up. Dude, I like how he just walks out and then he's like buying into her story, but he's totally not. He's just doing it to just gaslight her.
Okay, who do you think it was?
He's got people that's staying with him.
Who, John Rebel?
When they were in the hospital together before this happened in my house,
Yes?
Tay was with him. There was another guy, I don't know his name, but he pretty much fits the bill of the third guy.
There was three people?
Yes, at the house there was 3 people. And at the hospital yesterday, you can look at the cameras, there was 3 people.
So they have them on the video camera there at the
At
hospital?
the hospital, yes.
Okay.
There was Tay and that guy and this third party.
Oh, bro, they were getting third party, bro. We're playing Apex. That's what it was.
The one that I said was basically like the ringleader that was bossing everybody around. The other 2 really didn't talk much other than a word here and there. But it was the big guy.
Octavius
the
Rhymes.
third party that was at the hospital.
She claims not to have known the third man at the hospital, but she's prepared to shift all of the blame in his direction.
The only thing I know about the heavyset dude is they called him JoJo, but they told me that wasn't his name. They said I believe they said it was Jose.
Samantha reveals quite a bit about this third person. Samantha gives a detailed story about where
done
JoJo
with this
lives
chick.
and knows that everybody calls him JoJo, despite saying just moments ago that she just met these individuals. Also, another significant item to note. Do you recall when the corporal at the scene learned of a ping on Dagan's phone from dispatch?
There's something being 0.86 miles from a residence in Pittsburgh.
He asked Samantha if she knew anyone in Pittsburgh, and she had no reply. Well, it turns out she did. Tay and JoJo were both residing in Pittsburgh. She heads out for a smoke break as members of the sheriff's office prepare to head to the local
Bruh, she done
hospital,
snitched on everybody.
determined to intercept two
All her
suspects that
drug
have been
dealers.
frequenting Charla's room for days. Both John and JoJo were apprehended at the hospital at 9:39 a.m. As you'll see, each interrogation will be damning, to say the least. The clock now reads 10:10
Is he gonna
a.m.
show them?
The other party that was picked up at the hospital by the sheriff's office, a man by the name of John Sanford,
Oh, here we
aka
go.
John Rebel, is
John
seated in
Rebel,
the
what's up,
interrogation
boy?
room. He's dressed in black pants and a black long-sleeve shirt. The clothes match Samantha's description of the assailant's dress provided to law enforcement. Clearly, John is quite comfortable here. He may be thinking that if he engages with law enforcement, they'll believe him or go easy on him.
John, you know what this is about, buddy. You know exactly what it is. You know what happened over at Samantha's house last night. That's what we want to talk to you about, okay? I'm on Randize. You know you're right. You don't have to talk to me if you don't want to, and that's fine. I hope you decide to, because I think there's some things you're probably going to need to tell me. Your side of the story. And see if it's going to match Samantha's. Because Samantha, I'll be honest with you, she's pointing the finger at JoJo. She said you was with him. Now, do you want to talk to me?
He's like, oh, this.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let me
This
tell you what they're saying first, because I think you'll be honest. Because our bear's dead. He's dead. But now.
Wait, how did they know he's dead? How did they know he's dead? Did they find a body or something? I don't remember that part.
According to Samantha, you was just a bystander. Why, JoJo beat the living crap out of him up in that room where we got all the blood and collecting evidence.
Anytime there are multiple suspects involved in a crime, police will want to separate them as soon as
Obviously.
possible, so they don't have a chance to get their stories aligned. Police may often plant the seed of doubt that the others are implicating them, leaving each suspect with the decision dilemma of whether to confess or remain silent. The detective is also utilizing a Reed technique here of placing blame on an outside source rather than on the suspect himself. This will make it easier for John to admit his involvement, because the detective is building the theme that John was just a bystander and not the main perpetrator. Additionally, in this situation, it's likely that there are no real bystanders from a legal standpoint. Under a theory of accomplice liability, if the prosecution can prove that John aided or abetted the murder of Dagan, John would be in the same legal jeopardy
So
as the
she probably
person who
had
pulled the
them like
trigger.
do it.
Okay, this all started yesterday. Like you said, yeah, we talked to her about her problem with her husband and all that. Never did I plot to kill the guy. I have a problem with males hitting females.
And I do too.
She did say that there's been times it's crossed her mind to do stupid shit, this and that.
Like what?
Like, basically, like, get somebody to f them off. Like, not kill them, but like just beat the shit out of them, set them up, shit like that, right? And I told her, I said, well, damn. I said, you're talking to somebody that could do that, but I wasn't going to, though.
John now begins his account of the previous night, beginning with a quick stop at Samantha's house.
JoJo had the keys. He was passenger seat.
In front?
Yeah, passenger.
Who was driving?
I drove because...
Okay. Who was with you?
It was me, JoJo, and the
These
dude in the
people all
backseat I had
get to
never
know.
seen a day in my life. Except for, I do know...
What's his name?
All I know is he was related to Tay.
Yeah, because I think I know who he is.
I'll probably watch
John
another like
indicates that
hour or less documentary if somebody wants to find one, or I'll just find one after this.
Someone related to
Yeah, like
Tay was in the
20
back seat,
20
and
minutes
that
left
Tay
of this, I
wasn't with the three of them in the car.
Okay, let me rephrase that. I have seen them because I have been running around Pittsburgh, but unless they live on Cypress Street, I don't know who they are.
Okay, I got you. Okay, well, go ahead. Y'all all three together.
So,
you was driving, but you didn't have the keys.
didn't have the keys, and I really didn't have a choice because I like my life.
John seems to be trying to suggest that it was actually JoJo who was directing the scheme, and now seems to be implying that JoJo.
I want to see this JoJo interview.
Notably, direct.
I want to see this dude named Octavius Rhymes. Dude.
However, it's typically not a defense to the crime of murder. John gives his rendition of what occurred at the Ibarra home.
They go in. I'm the only person that knows the layout to the house. So JoJo asked me, he's like, where they sleep at? And I just walked up, stopped, and told him, man, look, upstairs. They ain't go up. I have to go up in the middle. It was JoJo, me, and then the last dude. We go up. And that's when all hell breaks loose. Beat the living hell out the dude. Honestly, me personally, I do not believe Samantha really had a hand to play in it. I think that what she was saying just kind of got took too far.
Okay, so what happened? Who beat the hell out of him?
JoJo and the other guy.
John is awkwardly using his hands as he talks, despite being handcuffed. People may increase their use of illustrators to make their lies sound more believable, or give off the impression that their story is true. Jose JoJo Ponce is in the hot seat. Needless to say, things aren't looking good for JoJo, who's now dressed in orange prison attire.
Here goes JoJo.
Jonathan is,
I got a weird prediction. I bet he's going to say it was the other two.
Really he's putting this whole thing on.
Shocker.
And said that you're the one that wanted to go in there, and he kept saying that you said something about like maybe you had a bad dope deal that went bad.
I don't even know. Matter of fact, I specifically told them when she told me who her husband was, right there in Octavius' house. Mm-hmm. When she told me his name, I told her. I don't even know who they are. I don't even know him.
JoJo said, well, what do you think you can do? You think you can come up with 20 grand in 5 minutes?
John mentions that JoJo demands Dagan produce $20,000 within 5 minutes if he wants to fix things. This is almost exactly what Samantha told the police. This could be because it's true. However, if you watch Samantha's interrogation footage, it's clear that she's trying to paint the incident as drug-related.
Cause this. Asking for compensation, $20,000.
And this may simply be a story that the group concocted to tell the police.
JoJo tells me, all right, stay here and watch him. Dude's out cold. I'm talking about folded up. Basically, like,
he was folded.
On the ground.
He was folded.
When we got outside the house, they had him up against the truck, hands still behind the back, had his face down like this.
What part of the truck?
The hood of the truck.
Okay, that makes sense. That's where, okay.
The investigator catches himself here just before he almost lets out a piece of evidence.
Nice.
Retaining key evidence as a way to corroborate testimony and also to tie physical evidence to one or more suspects.
They went through the truck. And at this point is when I start thinking, damn, what the really going on? Because they put the dude in the back seat. So we go. We leave. As we're going, they tell me, I go here, whoa, I'm driving. We go all the way out to the country. Get out to the country. Next thing I know, they walk off. They're all like, go start the vehicle. Go start the vehicle, he throws me the keys. So I'm like, what the f? So I start running back to the vehicle, and in my mind process, this is my neck of the woods now.
So you know where you're at?
Yeah, this is my neck of the
woods. We're fixing to go out there, me and you. We're going back out there. Because everything you're saying so far is matching 100%.
Before I make the vehicle, all I hear
is it? No, it's not, though. It's definitely not, though. He's definitely gassing him up.
Note that John is named JoJo as the trigger man. As you'll see, there won't be a consensus when it comes to this brutal aspect of the crimes.
Hey, listen, man, everybody's done point the finger at you as being the one that pulled the trigger.
That's what I'm saying, dude, and I didn't.
Who pulled the trigger then?
Jonathan.
I feel like we're playing Among Us, dude. I love it.
By claiming that John pulled the trigger, there are still at least 2 ways in which JoJo could still be criminally liable for the murder. First, under a theory of accomplice liability, if the prosecution can prove that JoJo aided or abetted, or...
I mean, like, I know how to take screenshots. Do you know how to take screenshots on PC? That's the only way I'd know, unless you could do it. I don't watch YouTube a lot. Can you like take screenshots of the stream or no?
Had the requisite intent for John's murder of Dagan. Second, if the prosecution can prove that JoJo had entered into an agreement with Samantha or John to carry out the murder,
You already took 5?
he could be charged with conspiracy
Can't even
to
let me
commit
pose,
murder.
though, you know what I'm
The
saying?
sheriff seems satisfied that he's gathered all pertinent information from John. He leads John out of the room. The next task is the somber duty of locating and recovering Dagan's body. Sheriff Tim Ingram and investigator Aaron Baxter, along with their helpful suspect, John Sanford, depart the sheriff's office as Chief Deputy John Livingston follows closely behind in Aaron's vehicle. Aaron wears a body camera to document the events that are about to transpire. Be forewarned, things are about to take a drastic turn for the worst as members of the Titus County Sheriff's Office begin to uncover the true horrors that occurred earlier that very morning.
Well, you think old Cuz went to bed after all this? You think he's home in bed? I honestly don't know. Who will know who Cuz is other than in case the crib will talk to me? Who's going to know this guy's going to get him quick before he...
What? What's going on?
Anything?
You watch for an hour to get a decent reaction? Bruh. This one's... If it was Russell, you'd probably get some very better reactions. This one's okay. It's not bad. Not good. Kind of mid.
Well, is that his name? Is that what everybody calls him, Cuz?
The sheriff asks
Sup,
John
cuz?
who will be able to identify the mysterious third party, known to us only as Cuz. We'll soon learn his true
His
identity.
name Cuz.
Yeah, see the body. See there? Yeah. That's him. Definitely did. Okay. What we need to do now, oh yeah, he's dead. He's not gonna be alive. What we need to do now is 2 of us need to break off and take him and use a recorder and let's go get that gun.
Sadly, Dagan's body is located at 11:28 a.m. Aaron places a call to the Camp County Sheriff to alert him of the murder within his jurisdiction. Meanwhile, back at the Titus County Sheriff's Office, an anxious and fidgety Samantha has returned to the interrogation room. The clock now reads 11:45 a.m. It seems
don't start
Samantha
drawing
hasn't
pictures.
been informed that Dagan was located deceased
Oh my gosh.
approximately
What are we
17
drawing here?
minutes earlier. While the members of the sheriff's office are locating the potential murder weapon, Samantha occupies herself by writing on the dry erase board in the interrogation room.
Certain dimensions for a thumbnail. I think so. I want to say 1280 by 720. Let me look. Yeah, 1280 by 720. So it's 16:9 aspect ratio. Yeah, 1280 by 720. Yeah, pixels.
Samantha leaves the room as the clock reads 11:58 a.m. Aaron's body camera recording resumes. The sheriff, John the suspect, and the 2 investigators, Aaron and John, head to the home where the gun is believed to have been stashed. Note that the woman seated on the front step of the home is Lacona Slayton. Her connection to the case will be revealed to you shortly.
Oh, this is that one chick that goes, I don't know nothing about no gun. All I know is about a gun.
Hey, John.
Is that Octavius Prime?
Where's that gun at?
It was out here.
Octavius
but
Rhymes.
it's apparently not out here.
Who got it?
I don't know. Y'all arrested me.
Why ain't it out here?
I don't know. No, I swear to God, I don't know.
the box, and the box is
I was in a lockbox.
So you already knew the gun was involved in it?
No, she has no
I didn't
clue.
know about-
She has no clue about nothing. I'm telling y'all that now.
So
I haven't. She has no clue about nothing.
here's the deal, all right? We need the gun. You could be charged with the same thing.
She was.
I know what the.
You could
Oh, is that Octavius Rhymes?
Murder, capital murder. That's death penalty. So
Yes!
if you know where the gun's at,
She knows where the gun's at.
you
She
need
got the
to
box.
you need to go
I
ahead and
don't
tell
know where
us.
the gun's at. I just told you that.
Okay, I'm gonna give you one more opportunity.
Dude, you can
Give me the
handcuff
gun.
me. I don't know where the goddamn
That's probably
gun's
fixing to
at.
happen. That's probably about to happen because I think you're a liar.
I don't
You've
give a
got the
damn.
freaking box. You've got the dead gun.
The daggum gun! Got it! You got the daggum gun!
Where'd the gun go then?
I don't know. So why'd you get the box?
I don't care, man. I didn't do
That you must be about as low life as that husband of yours.
He ain't husband.
Well, you with him. About the same thing.
Oh, this cop don't care. He just goes at him. He just says what's on his mind.
Whatever.
The sheriff and Lacona are referring to JoJo here.
What's that?
Oh yeah, you remember enough to go home and get that box, that gun in it, don't you?
No, I remember to come home and check the box.
So the gun's not in the tent?
I don't know. Go check the tent. I don't know.
Is it okay if I check the tent?
Yes, it is okay.
Okay. And where's it at?
Right behind the house.
Okay.
After a dramatically heated exchange with Lacona, the sheriff and Aaron head to the tent, which currently serves as Lacona's home, to attempt to locate the gun. A search in this case does not require a warrant. When someone with a controlling interest gives permission to search a premises, including a tent, it's an exception to the warrant requirement. Back at the sheriff's office, Samantha is again writing on the dry erase board.
Have you found my husband?
As a couple of written questions are directed at the sheriff's office.
She's like, ooh, what can I write to make me seem innocent? Have you found my husband?
She continues to put on a show.
No. Have you found my husband? Oh, dude. No.
These behaviors are once again very childlike and immature. Oftentimes, individuals with personality disorders will display immature behaviors. In high-stress situations in particular, they often regress, and these behaviors become much more evident.
There you go, right there, I bet you. See the dope or the gun? Gun. Well,
Peter had his gun.
Why the hell would I tell you to go look in the tent?
it wasn't in the tent.
Well, I don't know where the...
All we wanted is the truth.
Man, I'm telling you, all I know is the guy told me that they were suspects in a murder case. The first thing that popped in my head was that gun. It was not in the box where it was always at, and I don't know what the is going on, but I want to know.
Okay, well, just like the other officer told you, we're investigating a murder. All right? There was a guy killed last night. He was executed. He wasn't supposed to have it, was he?
No.
Yikes.
Convicted felon or...
Yeah.
Okay. Obviously, you know, that guy's got a family, and they're going to want to know what happened to their son and father. I mean, the guy's got kids, young kids. And so we just we're just trying to gather the facts up and get justice for this guy's family. Is there anything that you can tell me at this point that would help us with
I like
the
how
investigation?
they got the calm officer. Like, this guy's just super calm. Haven't heard him, like, change his tone once. It's all the same. And then you got the other guy. That's just... I think you're lying!
Other than that, if I think he would have did something like that, yeah. Because he's pulled it on me before.
He's pulled the gun out on you before?
Yeah.
All right.
I know I've prayed, but damn, I didn't think I was going to split up with him like this.
This important piece of information, which was uncovered due to the officer's catch-all question, may explain why Lacona didn't reveal the gun's location. It's possible that if she did know where it was, she kept the location secret for a much different reason than avoiding trouble herself or protecting someone else. Instead, she may have been fearful of retaliation from JoJo if she talked. We've yet to hear JoJo's side of the story, but it's going to be hard to dig himself out of the hole that seems to be getting deeper by the minute. The members of the sheriff's office depart with the recovered weapon that was believed to have been used to execute Dagan. Investigator Aaron Baxter sits down with Lacona on February 24th, just 4 days after Dagan was killed. During our last encounter with Lacona, when the handgun was retrieved near the tent that served as her place of residence, she seemed to insinuate that her days with JoJo were numbered. However, she initially referred to JoJo as her fiancé at this meeting. It may be that she had a change of heart and decided against ending the volatile relationship after all. As a result, she may be less forthcoming in her interview than the sheriff's office would have hoped.
You know, the other day when we were over there with the gun, what made you think that that gun was used to you just had a gut feeling?
I just had that feeling. It was a feeling because I don't know, it was just a feeling.
And you said that Jose had pointed at you before?
Yeah, in the past, but he would never, when it comes to other people, he's not mean. He's a coward. When it came to me, it was different. Other folks, he was a coward. He always backed down for fights and stuff. And I just don't understand. I don't see. I just don't understand. What? Why? JoJo didn't even know her. As far as I knew, Jonathan was the only one that knew her. Then I found out Tay's known her, Jonathan's known her. JoJo didn't know her, so why would he even?
Because they were probably smashing.
Lacona seems genuinely confused about the conspiracy and why JoJo would participate, seeing as he hadn't met Samantha until the day before the murder. According to future testimony provided by John, the three men smoked methamphetamine while en route to the Ibarra household. Perhaps this claim could explain the violent behavior seemingly uncharacteristic of JoJo.
So why don't
You
you
never found that gun in my tent. I promise you didn't.
Where do you think I found it?
I know exactly where you found it, which is in the spot that Jonathan hid it.
Jonathan put it there?
Oh, dude. That's where Jonathan hid it.
Yes.
That's where Jonathan hid it.
JoJo seems to believe that by knowing
Jonathan hid it. How would he know if he hid it?
where it had been hidden, he can somehow pin the murder on John.
Jonathan blew his pistol out and he hits him with it.
Where'd Jonathan have the pistol at?
In his waistband.
Whose pistol is it?
Jonathan's.
Where'd he get it?
Beats me.
You screwed, mate.
Clearly, JoJo's story is not agreeing with John's version of events. Most significantly, JoJo claims the gun that was allegedly used to murder Dagan belongs to John, though JoJo is unsure where or how John obtained it.
You're screwed.
And the gun that we got out from under the
His
house,
alibi
that's the gun
sucks.
I guess it belonged to Jose.
Your alibi sucks.
It was a gift to me from him. It was mine.
Okay.
Most importantly, perhaps, Lacona confirms that the handgun that was recovered near the tent belongs to her and JoJo, not John.
What I need to do, I've got Samantha's version.
Samantha is the ringleader. I never met her until yesterday.
So you just up there with Charlotte and them, that's when you met.
That's when yes sir, I met Samantha. And I met her 5 kids. We all left. We get to Walmart. We're in Walmart for a little bit. All of a sudden, Octavius Rhymes walks up to me.
Octavius Rhymes.
Said, man, I gotta go.
Rhymes, yeah.
I said, why? He's like, my mom just called me and cussing me out, telling me I better get the damn car home. So I well, let me go find Jonathan real quick. Let me ask Jonathan if he can give us me and my wife a ride home back to your house. When Jonathan took me home that afternoon, though, Octavius was home. Octavius ended up leaving with Jonathan. They left together. Me and my wife stayed home. All of a sudden,
What does this have to do with anything?
7 or 8 at last night, they showed back up. This time they showed up with Octavius, Jonathan, Samantha, and her kids. Jonathan pulls me to the side. Say, guys, I need to talk to you. I don't know what's up. He's like,
Look, I killed this dude. I need you to cover for me.
oh, girl, talking about Samantha. He said Samantha wants us to, do something. And he wouldn't tell me full details until we went to the place. All of a sudden, he tells me, he said, look, I just need you to stand guard.
JoJo describes what is called a criminal conspiracy between himself and John to commit the crime of kidnapping. Another important revelation is JoJo's claim that Tay was a willing participant in the conspiracy, despite Samantha's and John's initial reluctance to implicate him. It turns out that old Cuz
Bro,
was actually
Tay's
Tay
innocent,
all
bro, you know what I'm
along.
saying?
Let's hear it
He's
straight from the
innocent.
source.
Oh, let's go,
Meet
Octavius.
Octavius Tay Rhymes,
Yeah,
whose
boy.
identity Samantha and John attempted to conceal initially. Tay had requested a meeting with the Titus County Sheriff's Office with the intention of getting a deal in the works. However, Tay was informed that he'd need his lawyer to handle the negotiating with the DA's office. While seated with investigator Wayne Miner, Tay went ahead and pleaded his case.
I should have spoke to y'all without a lawyer, but I admitted to y'all, that I was in the vicinity when they took the dude from his home. But I didn't realize that they were planning on doing. So like I said, I know y'all ran my criminal background history already. I don't have no bottom background. I don't have no felonies.
W. Octavius Rhymes.
I've never been like this ever. So I'm trying to work with y'all, but I can't really give y'all no more information if there ain't no deal on the table.
Striking a deal is quite common in criminal cases, especially those with multiple defendants. Often, the prosecution will offer a more lenient sentence to the accused in exchange for the accused providing information to the police or agreeing to testify against one of the other defendants. However, it's important to note that a criminal defendant cannot make a deal with the police. Only the prosecutors are authorized to make deals with defendants. Therefore, any sort of deal that the police make with Tay wouldn't have any legal effect, unless, of course, such a deal was approved by the prosecutor's office.
I stayed downstairs the entire time.
But she whistled.
That means she was downstairs. Because like I said, me, Octavius, and
How'd she whistle? Was it like that or?
Yeah, like that. That's what I'm saying. She was downstairs. She had to be.
Bro, this dude just talking out his ass. Oh my god.
Did you see her?
No.
And so who went back in when she did it? Jonathan did.
And all of a sudden, Jonathan comes back out and says, "Come here, cuz I talk to you." So we walk over here. And he's like, her mom just called, said she's that a friend, she's sending a friend over to see her or whatever, something like that. He's like, so she said, we got to go, we need to go now.
JoJo claims that Samantha told them to move quickly. Records indicate that she called her mother to alert her of the attack. Because her mother's home was an hour's drive from Samantha's, she assumed that would give the men ample time to leave the premises with Dagan.
Bro,
What Samantha didn't anticipate was that her mother would send a nearby aunt to her rescue. There's no way JoJo could have known this bit of information if Samantha wasn't in on the ruse.
And so we left.
They arrive at a secluded area that...
How much time we got left in this? Oh, it's over.
It serves as their destination.
Tay's looking at me, I'm looking at him. Jonathan looks back at us. Jonathan pulls it out, he's holding it. All of a sudden, I tell him, man, dude, you're too close, dude. You finna take the man's life, but you're too close to the road. Tay's looking, Tay's like, man, you really are. He said, it's gonna be loud.
This moment is key, as with this statement, JoJo may have just admitted to being an accomplice to Dagan's murder. By admitting to the sheriff that he told John to move further from the road before killing Dagan, prosecutors could argue that JoJo attempted to aid John in his murder of Dagan, leaving JoJo equally culpable for it.
All right, hold on just a second. Drink your Coke, and I'll be right back.
It just don't make sense, my guy.
While JoJo waits for the sheriff to return, he's well aware that the camera is still rolling.
I don't understand how the hell you gonna blame me for shit that he did.
Okay.
I went because he asked me for help.
So you know what time the
Bro, how does this end? I want to know what their sentence or something.
that they took Samantha home?
To be honest, I believe it was before midnight, but I couldn't really tell you the time. I don't remember the times. I think it was before midnight though, because she was talking about how the kids were getting sleepy and she needed to get to the house. Something about her man was asleep or something, and she didn't want him waking up and getting mad at her.
No question about it, Samantha has been caught in a lie. Cell tower records give us the real story. Despite Samantha's attempts to deceive law enforcement, her phone wasn't near her home until approximately 10:30 p.m. on February 19th, just a few hours before the invasion. A major development in the case occurs just 3 days after the murder of Dagan, though it would be a stretch to say it came as a shock. Samantha is arrested and charged with aggravated kidnapping and murder. In the end, the failed conspiracy resulted in lengthy prison terms for all involved. John and JoJo pleaded guilty the following year, in April of 2016. They received 50-year sentences for their roles in Dagan's kidnapping and murder. Months later, in December of 2016, he went on trial. It didn't go as he'd hoped, however. He was found guilty of murder and aggravated kidnapping and was sentenced to a total of 93 years.
Oh, my man Octavius Rhymes.
Last but not least came the mastermind behind the whole terribly designed plot. Samantha went on trial for Dagan's murder in September of 2017. Not surprisingly, she was found guilty.
Shocking.
She was sentenced to 99 years.
Dude, they don't mess around.
In addition, she received another 50 years for the kidnapping to be served consecutively with her murder sentence.
They don't mess around.
To this day, it is still unknown who pulled the trigger and killed Dagan.
I think it was JoJo. I think it was JoJo. I'll be honest. It should be JoJo. Let's be honest. Okay, well that one was done. I give that one that one was pretty medium. If the last one was like a 9 out of 10, 8 out of 10, this one was like a 4. I'd say a 4 or 5. It was pretty mid. It wasn't terrible. I'd give it a 5 maybe. It wasn't terrible. But dude, they don't mess around. Is that Texas? Yeah, they don't mess around in Texas. They don't give you no leniency, nothing. They just kind of dropped the 99 years on her. Shush! Because basically that one chick, the 15-year-old chick in the last one, she did like the same thing. But I guess she was younger. But they gave her like 25 years or something. They gave her 99. That's a life sentence. They might as well call it a life sentence. All right, I'm gonna find like a hour or less one. Yeah. Let me find one real quick. We'll watch one more. It's 2 weeks ago.
When 2 teenagers were found brutally murdered behind a Publix, the community of Roswell, Georgia was shaken to its core.
Screw it, we'll go with this one. We always like multi-personalities. Multiple personalities in the interrogation room. This is by Explore This Too. So we're going to watch this, and then I'm probably going to hop off. This is an hour long, so it'll put us about 11 o'clock. I'm liking the 3-hour streams. That's my goal. So, let's see this one.
I just drove around the Publix over here at Kings Plaza, and it looked like 2 bodies were laying behind the store.
Starch, are you
The
still
2
here?
victims were loved by everyone who knew them, and the police were desperate to find the person responsible for their deaths. Little did they know that their murderer was more deranged and twisted than they could have imagined.
What did you do? What did you do? I didn't do anything.
You playing any GeoGuessr later or anything? I'll probably play a little GeoGuessr later if you down. Or we could check out some thumbnails and stuff.
Okay. Where he went?
Bro, the audio quality's so bad it sounded like she was barking.
Talk to me.
She
On
barking?
August 1st, 2016, a delivery driver was making a standard early morning delivery to Publix when he noticed something that would haunt him for the rest of his life. 2 teenagers were lying naked and dead behind the store. Each one had a singular gunshot wound to the head and had been positioned near their parked cars. The police were quick to show up on the scene and were soon met by some anxious parents whose children hadn't returned last night. With the help of the parents, the police were able to identify the 2 victims as Natalie Henderson and Carter Davis, both just 17 years old and preparing to go into their final year of high school. From what the police could gather, both teenagers were incredibly outgoing, kind, and well-loved. None of their friends or family could think of anyone who wanted to hurt the 2, leaving police searching for any lead as to who their mysterious killer might be. But they weren't left without any clues for long. Using the security footage from neighboring businesses, the police were able to see that their suspect was a young, dark-haired man who appeared to be wearing some sort of white mask. In the footage, the 2 teens could be seen spending time together, while their assailant secretly stalked them from behind a
Bro,
nearby
this one's
electrical
creepy.
box. After watching the couple for some time, the mysterious man confronted them and ultimately shot the two.
Yeah.
While this evidence was definitely a step in the right direction, it still wasn't enough to positively ID the killer. The next big break for the police came in the form of Natalie Henderson's bank statements, as officers realized her credit card had been used at a nearby Flash Foods gas station several minutes after her death. After checking the security footage at the gas station, officers were able to get enough details on the killer's car to trace it to a 20-year-old man named Jeffrey Hazelwood. After tailing Jeffrey for some time, police officers found him acting erratically outside of a gas station, and they made the decision to detain him.
There's a man from the back of the door.
What did you do? Just have a seat for me, bud. What did you do?
Repeat that now.
What did I do? What did she do? But she didn't do it. What did I...
Oh, what?
What happened? But I didn't do anything. What's going on? What? No.
The police began the long and arduous task of questioning him and those closest to him. And in the following never-before-seen footage, we'll watch as they discover the horrifying truth behind the two teens' murders. After arriving at the station for questioning, Jeffrey is brought to an interrogation room and left on his own for 20 minutes.
Give us just a minute, okay? Mm-hmm. You okay? Mm-hmm. Tick. No, that's fine. That's fine.
During this time, he can be heard talking to himself and experiencing tics in his hands.
That's fine. Okay.
It's got vocals.
The one place I could actually go home.
The tics in Jeffrey's hands could be the result of several things, but is likely an external sign of the extreme anxiety he's experiencing. The fact that Jeffrey is in a fetal position in his chair is another sign that he's under emotional duress, as that position is believed to bring comfort and a sense of safety. Additionally, Jeffrey may be talking to himself as a way of soothing his anxiety and fear. At this point, Jeffrey is still claiming to have no clue why he was detained, and it's time for Detective Bennett to
strumming
step
that
into the
guitar,
room
dude.
and
He's
figure
going
out what
going
exactly
crazy.
Jeffrey is hiding.
You okay?
No. What's going on?
What's the matter? Why are you upset?
Everything was falling apart. Now this is going on. I don't know what's happening.
Okay, what's falling apart?
Everything.
Everything like what?
My parents kicked me out on first. But before that, my marriage just went to hell.
Okay.
And I couldn't do anything to fix it. They kept getting worse and worse and worse.
Okay.
As Bennett walks into the room, she immediately picks up on Jeffrey's discomfort and tries to calm him down. Jeffrey's confusion, shaking, and anxiety are all signs of a psychotic episode, and Detective Bennett is more than aware of this. She speaks to him in a manner similar to how someone would speak to a child in an attempt to keep him as calm and cooperative as possible in his fragile state. In order to continue building rapport with him, Detective Bennett gathers some background information on his wife.
Tell me your wife's name.
Kelsey.
Kelsey?
Bonham.
Bonham? Okay, so you guys don't have the same last name?
We got married in our religion.
Okay.
Well, not legally, but to us, it is.
Okay. When did y'all get married?
April 22nd.
The 22nd of April? Okay.
I don't know what's going on.
How are things going with
Is this the guy that murdered them?
Kelsey? You said at the very beginning of us talking that things weren't going very well. Do you want to talk to me about that? What's going on with her? What's the matter?
Just keep fighting it's all my fault.
Yeah.
It's evident that Jeffrey is incredibly upset at the idea of losing his wife or fighting with her. Detective Bennett soon learns that Kelsey is Jeffrey's only positive relationship. After explaining that he was taken from his mother and given to his grandparents when he was only 18 months old, he goes more in-depth about the kind of relationship he alleges he has with them. It's important to note that there's no evidence of any of Jeffrey's claims being true, and are instead his version of what happened.
With a belt.
How old were you when that happened?
I think I was 7 or 10, I don't around that age.
Okay, so pretty young.
Jeffrey paints a very disturbing picture of his childhood. Emotional and physical abuse, especially when inflicted at such a young age, can often trigger mental health disorders, and this alleged abuse could explain the anxious tics we see Jeffrey experiencing. While Jeffrey talks to Detective Bennett about his life, his wife Kelsey is being brought in for questioning alongside her mom. It's odd that Kelsey's mother is allowed in the interview room with her, given that she isn't underage. But the police reports reveal that she was there because Kelsey is hard of hearing and is also prone to having seizures. It's important to note that if she is significantly hard of hearing, this also impacts her body language. Individuals with hearing problems will not be able to modulate the tone or volume of their voice as effectively as a standard hearing individual.
Okay.
Additionally, if she used sign language as a child...
Dude, I feel like watching these documentaries, I'm going to learn so much stuff that I might just go apply to be like a little
She
investigator,
may
you know what I'm
talk
saying?
more with her hands and even
Interrogator,
typical
I'll just throw
conversations.
me in a room with them. I'll get some words out of them.
Michael. Do you still work there?
Unfortunately.
Which one do you work at?
The one in Roswell.
Is that where you met Jeff? Do y'all call him Jeff or Jeffrey or
Jeff?
Bro, that dude looks rough.
There?
He worked at the one in Alpharetta at North Point. He came into my store one night.
Okay.
So that's how I met him.
How long ago was that?
It was March 7th.
Have y'all been dating ever since, or?
Okay.
With a few simple questions, the detective learns that Kelsey and Jeffrey have been dating for around 5 months. That's a seemingly short amount of time to date before getting married, legally or otherwise.
Do what you want.
Does he ever stay over
You know,
at
you
y'all's
know.
house overnight at all? Is that something that we?
He has with her. I really don't know much about the boy at all.
Okay.
Based on her tone and the fact that she only refers to Jeffrey as the boy, it's clear that Kelsey's mom doesn't approve of their relationship. Wanting to find out more about who Jeffrey is in his daily life, the officer asks Kelsey about his religious beliefs.
I heard some mention of, like, with nature bound, like spirit animals and that sort of stuff. Does he believe in that sort of stuff?
Mm-hmm.
He does? Did he have one?
Mm-hmm.
What was it?
He has 2 of them.
Oh, let me guess. It's 2 spirit animals. Any guesses? This is spirit animals. Tiger and deer. No shot. I'm gonna go tiger and something quick, like some. A wolf. Tiger and a wolf.
Oh yeah.
Deer and mouse. There's just no shot.
The hawk
Okay, 1 for 2. Come on.
and the wolf.
That's close enough.
What did he have?
Hawk and a wolf. I said tiger and a wolf.
I will say every time when he felt safe, he did look up maybe a hawk.
Interesting.
Hawks and wolves are both predatory animals, which may give some insight to the officer, as Jeffrey essentially preyed on his 2 victims. Kelsey also mentions that Jeffrey felt hawks were protecting him, which could indicate that he may struggle with feeling unsafe or threatened in the world. Now that Kelsey has warmed up to the officer, he begins asking more pointed questions.
Now I know for a fact that sometimes he carries weapons with him. Knives, at least.
Yeah, I know about that.
Have you ever seen him carrying a firearm or have one in the car at all?
It doesn't appear that Kelsey is lying when she answers this question, meaning that she likely has no knowledge of Jeffrey's recent crimes.
Does he have, is pretty high-strung, what do you say?
High-strung.
High-strung, like, is he nervous, is he fidgety, or?
That don't sound like the same dude I just saw in that.
Kelsey interrupts the question before the officer can finish. Even if she doesn't know anything about the murders, It seems as though she might be lying about other aspects of his life. This claim from Kelsey directly contradicts how we see Jeffrey acting in his
Yeah,
own interrogation.
that dude's nervous.
Meaning Kelsey is either purposefully lying or doesn't know her husband as well as she might think. This isn't our only sign that Kelsey may know more than she's letting on.
Does he normally go straight home to his grandparents when he's at your house? Or, well, I guess depending on the time of day, he might end up going back to work or something.
Yeah, most of the time, good.
Where does he go when he doesn't? Do you know?
No, not really.
Right after answering the officer's question, Kelsey can be seen glancing up at the camera, indicating that she may have not been truthful and is thinking about the fact that her lies are being recorded. Even more important than glancing at the camera, her foot starts bouncing, indicating a likely increase in anxiety, and her nose appears twitchy, which can often indicate anxiety as fight or flight causes the nose to become engorged and itchy. Also, despite appearances, she is still quite closed off. Her arm is crossed in a barrier across her body, legs tightly crossed with ankles close to each other and close to her body. Overall, still sustaining closed-off body language. When officers are looking for signs of deception, there is no one cue that tells them that an individual is lying, as cues can happen for different reasons. However, as they add up and turn into cluster signs of anxiety, the officers will hone in on this and push a bit harder to see if the individual will crack and tell the truth or share what they're holding back.
Your phone is still at the house, right? Your phone is still at the house? Your cell phone? Where is it?
Why?
Because we need it.
Why?
For our investigation.
Kelsey, just tell him where it's at. It's in my room with my baby.
Okay.
Unless there's a warrant specific to her phone, she is under no obligation to hand it over for investigation. The Fourth Amendment protects digital devices, including phones and laptops, from search and seizure, so she is well within her rights to question this and to ultimately refuse.
What kind of, why do you have that you don't even see? Pictures? No. What kind of stuff? What have you said to him that you don't even see? Personal things. Like what? Personal things. Anything that can hurt you? Huh? No, not really. Okay, then they don't care like the mushy stuff you put on there. If that's what it is. It's okay. No, it's not.
Most younger people are extremely hesitant to hand over their phones to anyone.
Dude, I can't hand my phone over. I don't want them looking at my parlays and
more
stuff.
likely to be suspicious of law
personal
enforcement
stuff.
in general. Kelsey may see her phone as something that is private and personal, so it's a violation of her right to privacy to have law enforcement go through it. However, exercising your rights is very much black and white. You either exercise them or you don't. There is little gray area. Once you surrender a right to privacy in something, it's virtually impossible to claw back.
Just say whatever it is, Kelsey, because I don't know anything about it. They're trying to help him, okay? So just tell him what it is. Because I don't know. Can you leave the room?
Can you leave the room?
If you want to wait outside with the other officer, you can stay close. And then we'll bring you back in.
Back with Jeffrey, Detective Bennett begins establishing a timeline for the past few days. The timeline starts out very normal, with Jeffrey talking about spending most of his weekend either working or hanging out with Kelsey. After leaving Kelsey's house early Monday morning, Jeffrey stopped by his grandparents' house to grab a few things before going to a nearby park where he slept in his car. Jeffrey's timeline seems to check out with the detective until he mentions something incredibly strange he found while getting gas
snack on, but I don't know like that.
I stopped at Quick Trip that once. Before I got to the park. I found something really interesting there.
What?
It was weird. I don't like them.
What do you mean?
I don't like them at all.
What is it?
It was a gun.
Okay. At that Quick Trip right there at Mabry Road?
It was behind it. And I was going to smoke a cigarette back there and kicked it.
Okay.
Ouch! That was barefoot.
Uh-huh.
What?
And I picked it up and I was like, okay, well, I guess somebody left it. Free.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I could sell it because I don't have a lot of money.
Uh-huh.
I don't have money at all. So I was like, okay, I can sell it.
Right?
And I was like playing with it and all that.
This story about finding a gun behind a gas station is hard to believe. It's
found a gun behind a gas station. He just kicked it with his bare foot.
It's likely that Jeffrey obtained the gun in another way, but doesn't want to admit it.
He bought it.
Can you tell me what it looked like?
It looked like a gun.
It was black, and it was one of the really short ones.
Okay. Like one that you hold in your hand or one that you prop on your shoulder?
Not that
Like one of the
No.
ones that, well, not that big.
No.
Okay.
It was, Call of Duty, the ones where you go like this.
Okay. So.
Oh, those ones. I now we're speaking my language.
You said it was black, right? So did it have the spinning wheel thing on the side, or did the top of it slide back?
The top. It pinched me.
Okay. How did you pinch yourself?
It pinched my finger.
How did that happen?
It got infected. I was playing with it, and it went forward really fast.
Oh, okay. So you got your pinky just stuck in the little sliding part on the top?
It hurt.
Holy cow, I bet. Did it bleed?
It did, but it's more infected right now.
Oh.
While discussing the gun, Jeffrey uses a lighter,
Bro,
more
this might be the most
childlike
confusing
tone
one I've
as
seen
a way
yet.
of making this whole
What?
story sound more innocent, as well as what sounds like an unusual accent. Using that childlike tone as a way for him to avoid answering questions
Too
and
crazy.
to avoid the seriousness of what's going on. He didn't always speak that way, only sometimes, which indicates that he might be being evasive and deceptive.
No, I
and
think he's
trying
just
to
crazy.
avoid the question. He also focuses on how the gun injured him in order to present himself as the victim and to distract Detective Bennett from assuming he had any ill intent with the weapon. Although she likely doesn't believe his story, Detective Bennett is making sure to appear empathetic to Jeffrey's extremely minor injury. By coming across as warm and understanding, she's able to build up a rapport with him and get him to readily answer her questions. He likely would shut down if Detective Bennett raised her voice or argued with him. Although she's doing a good job of appearing empathetic and understanding, it's clear something is wrong with Jeffrey.
And you left her house and headed for Grandma's house. Okay. So at that point, we had a crime happen here in Roswell
Mm-hmm.
that,
Heard about it the next day from her mom. It's horrible.
okay, okay,
Well, you think I want to even more move up to Canton with that nice apartment.
yeah.
But it's horrible.
Well, you-
Horrible.
You still had to drive by the location where the incident happened?
I did.
Yeah. I have your car on video,
So,
driving by the incident location.
when?
I have you pulling into the parking lot where the incident occurred.
Mm-hmm.
I have you getting out of your car and walking around a little bit. I have you walking towards where the incident occurred.
Yikes.
And I have you on video where the incident occurred.
Oh.
Tell me why you were there when that happened.
I'm scared to say something. It was awful. It was all covered in blood.
What was the most memorable thing Russell said? It's the picture from the video. I'm going to unleash my bipolar. Something like that.
Okay.
The pig joke was pretty funny though.
Okay.
It was awful.
Okay. Tell me what you saw.
He saw somebody getting shot. That's what he saw.
Mm-hmm.
Blood was everywhere.
As Detective Bennett gets more and more information out of
Bro,
Jeffrey,
this guy.
we see him revert back into the fetal position he was in at the beginning of the interrogation.
This
You'll
guy.
notice that Jeffrey loosens up when they're talking about less stressful things. He also once again changes his voice to sound high-pitched. It's clear that he's panicking.
So sore.
The dark.
Okay. At what point in time did you go to the flash foods?
What?
The gas station.
What do you mean? I don't remember this.
Gas stations have video cameras.
Yes.
I know what kind of car you drive.
Yes.
I have you on video and your car at the gas station across the street from your job. At what point did you go to the gas station?
He's just gonna like say he's insane. He's gonna plead insanity. He's gonna do that thing.
The laser.
While it's obvious that Jeffrey was caught lying about going to the gas station, it can be hard to determine if he is intentionally lying since he appears to be in the midst of a psychotic episode. While Jeffrey may be able to effectively communicate with the detective during this episode, that doesn't mean he's in his right mind. Despite this, Detective Bennett questions Jeffrey about the murder weapon, and the lies continue to add up.
Okay, I don't believe that you ever found a gun behind the QT. Because the employees hang out behind the QT, and that's where they smoke their cigarettes and take their breaks. If there was a gun laying with bullets in a bag in a case, I'm pretty sure that one of the employees would have been able to see it. It's lit back there.
Yes, but how do you know if they actually fired it?
A handgun in a bag.
What?
With bullets in a case. You don't think they would have seen it?
I don't know.
Where'd the gun come from?
The more Detective Bennett questions Jeffrey about his actions after finding the bodies, the more tangled he gets in his own conflicting stories. Detective Bennett has made it clear that she doesn't believe Jeffrey's story about finding the murder weapon. What Jeffrey doesn't know is that Detective Bennett already knows the real story behind how he got the weapon. On Monday afternoon, less than 12 hours after the murders had taken place, Jeffrey's grandfather reported that his Sig Sauer pistol had been stolen, and the description of that gun matched the one Jeffrey claimed to find behind the gas station.
Your grandfather's stolen gun is going to be in the back of your car, isn't it?
I don't know.
Shut
You already
up.
talked about the gun.
Yes.
See, I couldn't deal. This would be my least favorite type of suspect to interview. The one that just keeps saying I don't know. If you're gonna say I don't know that much, just put your hands behind your back.
Everything just
Get ready to serve some time. That's what I would tell him.
where it came from. So when I go and get the video from behind Quick Trip on the night you said you found the gun, you're going to be picking up a bag, taking the gun out, racking the slide, popping a bullet out, picking the bullet up, putting it back in the magazine, putting it back in the gun, and then sticking it into your trunk or in a bag in the back of your car. That's the way that it happened. You think so?
So I think so.
Here, Detective Bennett is using something known as a bait question. If Jeffrey is being honest about how he obtained the gun, then he should be confident that the security footage will confirm he found the gun behind the gas station. However, he gave a weak and non-committal response to the question, confirming that he's being deceptive about where he got the gun.
I don't know his name.
Whose name?
Huh?
Whose name?
The guy I gave it to.
Oh God!
The
Gave
guy
away
you
the
gave
gun.
it to. The guy you gave what to? The gun.
Didn't know. He said he wanted to practice.
Okay.
He said he wanted to practice.
You think you the guy that shot them?
No. I don't know.
Who'd you give the gun to?
Bro, this guy's just annoying. I'm gonna be honest.
Like?
All I know is Matt.
His name is Matt. When did you give him the gun?
A week ago.
You didn't find it a week ago. You told me you found it on Sunday night.
God, dude, just shut that one down.
Wednesday.
All I want to do is see my brother again.
It's clear that Jeffrey has some confusion surrounding dates and times.
Because he doesn't know
likely
anything. It's because he
caused
just.
by his psychotic episode.
I'm
However,
done
the police
hearing the
now have
psychotic
a
episode. I
lead
think
to
it's a show.
investigate in the form of this mysterious Matt. Determined to get the whole truth from Jeffrey, Detective Bennett tries one last technique before ending the interrogation. She pulls out photos of the victims taken at the crime
Ew.
scene and forces Jeffrey to face his actions.
What if somebody did this to Kelsey? Then
Dang.
what? Then what? What would you want to happen to the person that did this to Kelsey?
Bro, God, these cops laying down the hammer today. They ain't messing around today.
This was Kelsey's picture. And they shot her. And they laid her out naked on the ground. And they spread her legs open.
Gosh!
And they touched her.
Gosh, bro, this cop is
What happens
crazy.
to that person that does that?
Wouldn't like that at all.
You wouldn't like it? What would you do to that person?
Dude.
What should I do to that person as a police officer? What should happen to that person?
Bad.
What is bad?
Kill him!
It's bad. It's bad.
Just bad?
Bro, he's going now, bro. He's.
I
I can't even move my hand that fast.
Just look at her in the daylight. You didn't get to see her in the daylight.
Dude, she's about to set him off
This
for
is
real.
a technique known as a punishment question. Someone who's being honest is more likely to respond with a strong punishment that fits the crime, whereas a guilty individual may try to dodge the question or suggest a lesser punishment. In Jeffrey's case, he appears to be highly distressed and unable to suggest anything other than bad. Realizing that Jeffrey is too upset to give any more useful information, Detective Bennett ends the interrogation. With Jeffrey's interrogation completed, all
What time are we at? Okay.
eyes are on Kelsey.
About
A
halfway
new
through.
detective comes into her room to continue her interview.
I really don't think that you've done anything wrong. Okay. But I think you know a lot more information than you're telling us. And I'm just being honest with you. And here's what I'm going to say to you.
If you withhold information, you will be liable. I will arrest you.
You're a young lady. You got your life ahead of you. Okay. I want you to be able to be open with me. You're not under arrest. You understand? You've been helping us. I have no reason to believe that you're nothing more than helping us.
Right.
But I can't later find out something happened or that you knew of something and you didn't tell me. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
Then you're culpable and you're accountable.
Oh, thanks, dude.
You're welcome.
It comes into kind of personal. Like, go ahead.
Pretty new that text from the office.
When Mama was working as a prison guard and something went missing, she'd ask one question: what do we do when we find a guilty party? And if they said, come down on them with that swift hammer of justice, innocent. A clear conscience don't need no mercy. But if they said, Officer Bessie, well, they may have had a reason, blah, 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 blah. Well, 9 times out of 10, that's the anus they check.
God.
When Mama was working at...
Bruh. I don't know if I've seen that episode. I don't think I've seen it.
I don't like betraying people in a way.
I understand.
Kelsey knows that revealing intimate details about Jeffrey, such as his mental and emotional problems, could incriminate him. It seems that she may need more confirmation about the severity of Jeffrey's
Zach, how'd you do on betting today? You win anything?
actions before she's comfortable giving details. Additionally, Kelsey clearly doesn't understand what the detective is implying when he
You got a
tells her
surprise for
that
me,
she
bro. Is it a fire thumbnail? Am I about to be
culpable and
after this video, bro? Hop in the Discord.
She appears
or
to
if you
take
want to hop
it
in
as a
before, it don't matter.
compliment, when actually he's saying that if he finds out she's hiding something, she'll be held accountable by the law and possibly face legal consequences. The detective should take a moment here to explain his statement. He should also use caution going forward and make sure that he explicitly says what he means in simple terms, so that he can be sure Kelsey understands.
Has he given you or told you about anything that he's done recently that would be, in your eyes, shocking?
Alright, I'll take. We'll have a photo shoot after. You know what I'm saying?
No.
I'll have a little photo shoot.
Alright, so
I'll do some poses for you, bro. I got you.
here's
my
what
good
the deal
side.
is. You know, I told you they sent me to all those fancy schools. You just lied to me.
No, I didn't.
Okay.
Okay, yes, I looked away, but no, I'm gonna do that thing.
That's not just look away, and I can't describe everything. I've been doing this for a long time.
Said, sigh? Dude, she just hit it with the sigh, dude.
I got you a thumbnail, bro. It ain't great, but it's alright.
I mean, is it better than the one I have right now?
Okay?
Yeah,
I tell you, as I
Wow,
try.
bro, you're just gonna disrespect me for 5 minutes. That's not bad. That's the first time I've ever really.
I didn't make it for this stream. I made it for the last one because I didn't have anything from this stream.
All right. Well, I could probably post like those like as like short in YouTube videos maybe.
Any kind
It's pretty solid.
of association.
I don't know how I would shorten that though. That video.
Shorten what?
That stream.
Oh, what do you mean shorten it?
Like if I wanted to like repost it as like a video, so it's like not just like a live stream, you know.
Oh. You would just cut down the interrogation. Just
Everything except for Russell.
If you give me this deception,
It's just Russell.
and I know you're lying to me, then I have no alternative than to put you over here as opposed to over here.
We know that it's a common misconception that eye
Oh, bro, you
contact
Steven, I got it
is
set up
indicative
now,
of
bro. I got
honesty.
everything for this shit.
Is it quick?
Oh yeah,
If it's quick and effective, that's the thing, bro. I don't want to like.
bro.
save
I'm
you
damn
time.
near using legit Photoshop right now for free.
For free? What app is it?
Called GIMP.
Oh yeah, I know GIMP.
However, people will
It's
typically
like a software you can. I downloaded it one time and I didn't understand it at all. So I just
Oh, I
stopped.
took
as they're
Photoshop on high school and it's
considering what is
dead.
being
It's damn near the
said
same thing.
or how to
Yeah,
best
I've had
It's a
GIMP
little bit more
before.
complicated, but it ain't
This
bad.
is all a normal part of honest communication.
What do you use to like remove the backgrounds and stuff?
I'll teach you.
Because dude, the website I use is pretty.
I
pretty
spent
simple.
30 minutes trying to figure out how to cut your head out of the damn picture.
You should try remove BG. It's so easy. You just upload the file and it
I already
removes
did it.
that.
I know it now. It's easy.
In fact, sustained eye contact can often
you said
mean
what
the
again?
opposite. As
There's a website called Remove. I've used it for a long time, like making logos and stuff. You literally just upload a photo and it just removes the background.
individuals are
Oh, I got everything, bro. I got a file called thumbnails, and I got everything, bro.
being deceptive will maintain eye contact in order.
I could do a lot of like general thumbnails. I feel like, what you doing, bro? What you laughing at?
The way it cut it out, bro.
Okay, all right, dude. If you make me look, you might have to. If you're good at editing, bro, you might have to make my muscles look a little bigger. You know what I'm saying?
thoroughly
Oh,
search
I'm not
the
even putting your
person's
body in
face
it. I'm just putting
for
your face in
signs
it.
of belief or disbelief. So they
We're
can
gonna have to have a
quickly
photo
adjust
shoot, bro.
their
You have
story
to
fit
get
the
my good.
reactions
No,
of
I
the
don't want your
individual
fucking.
they're
I don't
trying
want
to
scripted
manipulate.
reactions, bro. I
Well,
want
dude, they're gonna be.
Also,
You're just gonna have to tell me something.
Steven, you're not fucking Leonardo DiCaprio. Like, you're never gonna
Oh,
think
yeah?
to make this face that I got on my screen right now. You're not.
Give me an emotion and I'll make it right now.
Bro, I took 4 screenshots from your stream just so I could find out which
Give
one
me
I
an
like.
emotion. I'll make it right now.
I'm not even watching your stream. We're trying to make a thumbnail, bro.
Tell me-
Okay,
just tell me-
you want
just
an
tell me.
emotion?
Yeah,
Hold
just
on,
tell
you
me.
want
Tell me something you want me to do, and I'll just do it right now.
Hold on, let me get caught up on your stream. Let me pause for a second. What the fuck? I fast forwarded. You were just in my face.
Tell me, bro. They call me Leo.
Give me like a surprised / grossed out face. That's
Surprise. Okay, hold on. All right.
And let's see if you can get what I got on my
All right,
screen.
can you give me a little story, like something I would find that would surprise / gross me out? You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so you
What's
walk
something
into the
that's-
grocery store, right?
Okay.
And you look down the aisle, and some guy just screams, "I'm going full bipolar," and just starts rubbing peanut butter all over his body. What do you do?
Hey, that was fucking. That was banger. That was a banger reaction, honestly.
Your face, bro.
That was banger.
Nah, you gotta see this shit. You gotta see the one I got. You gotta see
All right, well, I
the
got
one
30
got.
minutes on this video.
Look to
Alright,
the
I'll
side
be
because
here. I'll
she's
be
hard of hearing and is trying to figure out what the detective said or even is thinking.
If I kept you over here, just because you have knowledge of something, tell you. Listen, you're trying to convince me now.
He's trying to commit.
Okay.
I had to revive him 3 times, okay?
When was that?
Hey, I want to see what this says. Why should I live? Can't do. All dudes hurt everyone in that. Dang, that's a sad one.
About 3 weeks ago?
Okay, well that's not the. How do you try to commit? With what method?
He had
A gun?
painkillers.
He had what?
Painkillers. And when he busted up his knee, the doctor gave him painkillers.
Okay.
And
Okay.
they took 3 of
Is
them.
this chick
And he
innocent in
was
this? I think
messed
she
up
is.
for a
I think
while.
she's
Couldn't
innocent.
remember anything for
I think we're gonna give her the innocent
Okay,
card.
that's the most sucking thing I know, okay?
Okay. So did you call rescue?
He's taken my hospital. Now I don't know why he does it.
Was you revived him 3 times with CPR and you didn't call an ambulance?
I was a nursing major.
Attempts to take one's own life are a major red flag of a
Nursing
number
major.
of mental health disorders, including an active psychotic episode. It's a clear sign that Jeffrey's mental state was rapidly decompensating. This information also gives insight into the nature of
That's a
Kelsey and
scary
Jeffrey's
picture, bro.
relationship.
Woo!
It appears that Kelsey takes on
Beautiful Kelsey, congratulations and congratulating from KSU. I'm just saying, I may not have been there for a little bit. Okay,
A caregiver role is evidenced by the fact that she revived him 3 times and helped keep the attempt a secret so that she could treat the issues herself. Romantic partners will often take on this caregiver role when they want to hang on to a relationship while their partner is struggling with something that could threaten the relationship, such as Jeffrey's erratic behavior. Kelsey may also enjoy the feeling of usefulness and being needed that she gets from having Jeffrey be dependent on her.
You're safe here. This is a safe room. This is a safe space. I've told you, if you tell me the truth, because later if I find out something different, it's different. And I don't call you anymore. I don't talk to you anymore. I'm trying to put you over here. I'm sorry you had to see that. I know it bothered you, right? Did it bother you to see him like that? Oh no. It would bother me too. But at the end of the day, I've asked you 3 very, very quick questions, and you were deceptive on 2 out of the 3. And I understand what you're saying, and you can say you weren't. I understand it bothered you. I get it.
What bothered me is that you think that I know something that was shocking. The only thing that I know was shocking is when he went to an episode, and I had to pin him down because I thought he was going to...
So he hasn't told you that he's hurt anybody recently?
No, he hasn't. He's been with me most of the time.
He never said he hurt anybody?
No.
He never said that he did something bad? He never
No,
said
he
that?
never told me anything. What do you think? I know that? If he told me no, he didn't tell me anything. I thought he was fine after a while.
Kelsey is using open palm gestures here. This is a nonverbal indicator.
The open
of a lack
palm
of confidence,
gestures.
And it's interesting that she makes this gesture while saying that she thought he was fine after a while. It implies that she may not be sure about this statement.
Dude, wait, I'm trying to think. If I'm not lying, what kind of gestures do I make? I probably would I not do that? Like bro, stop. I guess that does. I guess that does. Being literally.
Trying to get him out of that.
Okay. I need you down here. I need you way down here. Okay. He's alive now, right? You revived him. He's safe. All right. We'll go to there.
W nursing major.
Back up a little bit.
The way the detective is speaking with Kelsey could be detrimental to get information out of her. When conducting a police interview, it's important for detectives to ask one question at a time and pause to let the other person answer. The detective asks a question here, but then doesn't give her a chance to respond.
He's alive now, right? You revived him. He's safe.
The best questions during an interrogation are short, simple, and straightforward. In the Reed technique, a popular method of interrogation, investigators are trained to do 20% of the talking, while the interview subject should be doing 80% of the talking. The detective also downplays Kelsey's feelings by saying she was bothered by Jeffrey's attempt to take his own life. Kelsey and the detective soon come to a head again.
So you're positive, you're 100% positive that you're telling me the truth, that he had no vengeance, no anger, no hatred, no nothing towards anybody but...
Basically, yeah.
Basically doesn't mean yeah.
I don't know.
We might normally say that her saying basically is a qualifier statement, but at the same time, she's young and has at least one disability that
We'll give her a
affects
break. We'll give her a break on that one.
As well, this detective isn't exactly doing a great job of establishing or maintaining
done.
rapport to keep her talking comfortably. She may be feeling pressured to provide answers. The likely truth is that she may not know the answer to the question, but is afraid of saying that since it hasn't gone over well in her interview up to this point.
He doesn't tell me anything. I don't know why.
Okay, let's back up. Hold on a second.
I really do not like when you interrupt me.
Okay, that's fine. I don't like it when you're deceptive. So if you're...
God! Bro, these cops do not play around. All 3 videos, or all 2 videos, both videos we watched today.
Here we go.
I've been listening, but I haven't really been watching. It's kind of...
Bro, these cops do not mess around today. They just, they're ruthless.
Okay, with it.
And then I've got to go, because I've got...
She said, I don't like when you interrupt me. He said, I don't like when you're deceptive.
I'm going to be called.
His response to her saying she thought he was disrespectful is the perfect example of a damaging power struggle. Interrupting may be more disrespectful to her than most, Because if she relies on lip reading to help her understand what the detective is saying, then him talking while she's talking doesn't allow her the ability to focus and understand
Dang.
what he's saying.
L-Cop.
This in turn leads to more communication issues.
Oh, you can't leave until a day, right?
No,
I'm trying to get so down and down because I don't know.
deep breath. Okay? I'm almost done with this interview, and I'm gonna leave. Your mom's a sweet woman, in my opinion. You just had a bad relationship. I think you were trying to find something good in him. What you said, he's violent, he's got these things going on. You were trying to help him. I get it. Don't lie to me. He's talked to you, and he's talked to you, and I know he's talked to you, and I can't tell you how I know that. Okay? But I know he's talked to you.
Yeah.
And I've been waiting for you to talk to me about it. But if you're not going to talk to me about it,
No, what?
okay. Calm down. I don't need your hands. I don't need all that. We're just talking. We're two adults. We're two adults.
God, bro.
On me a few weeks ago,
I understand, but he's talked to you about
What did she
people
say?
that he doesn't like or people that you would like to hurt.
Kelsey emphasizes her words with her hands, and it all matches up, indicating that she doesn't have a brain-body conflict and is highly likely being honest. She uses a lot of
Oh, wait, is she? Is she being honest? I mean, she's like, I can see it, but like, I thought like the cop said he knew something.
illustrators to emphasize her words in other ways. It may seem excessive, but her emotions are very high, so it matches her mental state quite clearly. The detective is far too confident and has now caused Kelsey so much distress that she has likely lost
How much
all
longer is that video
trust
again?
in him.
Sorry.
She might
How
feel
much what?
How much longer is that video again?
Like less than 30 minutes.
that the detective is just playing games with her, or she might feel frustrated that no matter how forthcoming she is, he will still doubt her honesty, especially since Kelsey has given all indications of a person responding honestly.
Yes, he has.
hurt. He never told me if I didn't want to hurt. Never.
That's it?
He told me once he was going to bed. And he didn't sleep when he wasn't looking.
Is this English?
I don't know. Anybody?
Kelsey's heated reaction to being told she's lying is actually indicative of her being honest. Many truthful people will react with a strong tone of voice or even become hostile or angry when they're wrongfully accused of something.
see
It's
that.
understandable
I can see
that
that.
Kelsey's patience with the detective might be running thin at this point because she's divulging sensitive and painful information while being repeatedly told she's deceptive. It would be in the detective's best interest to maintain a good relationship with Kelsey.
he's already
if he
lost
wants her to
that. I
trust him
mean,
with any other secrets she may have about Jeffrey. The detective may also be making this interview unintentionally harder for himself when he tells Kelsey not to move her hands around.
Calm down. I don't need your hands. I don't need all that. We're just talking.
By telling the interviewee to limit body language, the detective is limiting expressive cues that may actually be of use in the interrogation.
L-Cop.
With the detective questioning her on Jeffrey's recent behavior and aggression, Kelsey is able to deduce that they suspect he's involved in the public's murders.
If he's over here and there's some culpability and some big things going on right here, I don't want to move you into that chair. And it's really that simple. I don't want to put you in that same chair.
About killing, didn't it?
Why would you say that?
That's the only big thing going around. And you asked about a gun.
It's not the only thing, but why would you say that? You need to be honest with me, and you need to be honest with me right now. Huh?
You said it happened on Sunday.
You need to be honest with me. That's
Bro,
what you
honestly, I don't really like this cop. I don't like the way he's talking, really.
need to be.
You don't know if he did that. Why are you making it sound like he did? You're making it sound like it. That's why I asked. That's why I asked you if that was it. Because I don't know.
How do you know about the killings, then?
My mom told me.
Your mom?
Told me Monday morning.
What killings was she referring to?
The one behind public.
The ones behind Publix. So why would you think your boyfriend would be anything associated with that?
To be honest, I don't know.
As Kelsey says, to be honest, I don't know, she makes very intense eye contact with the detective, as if she's trying to see if he believes her.
Yeah, you do. No, I don't. Okay. All right.
Yeah, we.
Then you need to start talking to me because I've got 3 houses waiting on me. I'm
Shush.
done. I have more information than you think I have. I don't know where he went.
Chill.
Please don't be free.
My gosh, bro. I thought she was about to pounce on him. Like,
Then talk to me.
Interestingly, Kelsey goes into the confession pose, leaning forward
I
with her
thought she was about
hands
to-
in
I
her
thought she was about
lap,
to
right
jump him.
before the detective pushes her again. If he had sat with the silence for a minute, she may have opened up at that point instead of freaking out. This is why, when conducting interviews, it's so important to pay attention to nonverbal cues and to be able to sit with silence and let the person think. All the detective did was potentially delay the truth from coming out. Interviews should be conducted in a non-accusatory and non-confrontational manner. Interviews should only be confrontational when detectives have evidence someone was involved in a crime.
Is this an L
And then
interview?
the interview will switch to an interrogation style. However, this detective is choosing to be impatient and not empathetic. He's trying to use her own words against her and make it sound like her question is proof of Jeffrey's plans. This is just one example of why young or vulnerable individuals should have a parent and/or lawyer present with them during questioning.
We'll be right back. We got something that just came up, so I'll let her come in and then we'll
L
get you all.
detectives. L detectives.
See? Okay? I want you to talk to Mom, okay? I want you to come down and talk to me. What they've been questioning you about, I need to know up front. I want you to tell me, okay? I need to know. But I don't know if you did it. Okay, no, listen to me though. Okay. You've got to be truthful with these policemen, okay? No, I know. Okay, then you've got to tell them everything they want to know, okay? He told me that Jeff, he did one person, I don't know that. This is very important, okay? Because I'm scared now. I'm scared. You're scared for me. No, listen. I'm not scared for you. You're fine. Calm down, Kelsey, calm. Be calm. Okay? And you tell the truth about everything. Because they feel like you're not telling the truth about it. I don't know. I don't know.
When the detective comes back into the room, Kelsey tells him what she can about Jeffrey's recent violent behavior.
Here we go. Now she's talking.
He know one coming on. One. I got the dude coming on, and I stayed with him for 2 hours. He got in trouble with it. And he had a knife. And he gave me his knife because he
I
felt
hear
like
voices that tell me to hurt other people. I hear voices that tell me to hurt myself. I see and hear characters that are my friends.
This is, of course, an obvious red flag that Jeffrey was dangerous. Sadly, Kelsey thought she was taking care of Jeffrey by just taking the knife away. But in truth, he would have needed hospitalized care to stop his violence and aggression from escalating even further. Back with Detective Bennett, Jeffrey has requested to speak with her again, and this time he's promising to tell her the whole truth.
What decisions that led up to this do you think are the bad ones that you made?
I wanted to do was protect her.
Protect who?
Kelsey?
Protect her. Okay, tell me about how you were protecting Kelsey.
Huh?
There was a guy. Another guy.
Okay?
He was jealous.
He made me drive him around.
Oh, never mind.
And the high school, he made me drive past, and around.
Past where? Well,
The Roswell High School
okay.
has the, entrance, and he told me that the girl was parked in that area. And he made me drive past her car. And then, when I got to the exit, he got out. I was like, where are you going? It's like, none of your business. So he told me to drive there, then walk her back.
Okay.
So I parked. And then a little while later, her car got through with his car.
Okay.
And
See, nothing this guy says makes sense to me. I'm gonna be honest.
Okay. So where did you first? Go ahead.
He made me show him my driver's license.
Mm-hmm.
And he threatened me. Threatened my family, which was Kelsey.
Mm-hmm.
As he hinted towards in his last interview, Jeffrey reveals that there was another man with him at the time of the murders. With Jeffrey giving more information about Matt and the night of the murders, maybe the detectives will finally be able to piece together a motive.
So where did you first encounter this guy? Where did you first see him or meet him or?
It was a while back.
Okay. What?
We were friends or something of the sort.
Okay.
I smoked a little marijuana with him a couple times.
Okay.
And
Did you guys meet at a party or at work or how'd you end up meeting?
it was a while back. He, was, when me and Kelsey first met.
Okay. And you said that was sometime in March, right?
Yes.
End of March or
It
something?
was March 7th when we first met.
The beginning of March. Okay.
There was him and another person in a car that was parked next to hers. And so they were yelling and everything, and we ended up like meeting and going into my car, and we were smoking marijuana.
Uh-huh.
And that she got pissed at me. We weren't even together then, we just met.
Okay, so y'all aren't even dating yet. Okay.
And she got pissed at me because I left her for two strange men.
So where were you? Where were y'all? Where were you?
Bro, the way he
from?
laughs makes me so uncomfortable.
Okay, the one here in Roswell or where you were?
God.
Okay.
Notice how quickly his emotions and
He might
voice
be one of the
change.
creepiest, bro.
He quickly shifts from
He's
panic
actually
mode and
crazy.
freaking out to laughing about something else.
He laughs about just random
This is
shit.
another
Bro, like the
indication
whole
that
time
he's
I
in
was
the
doing like
midst
this
of a
or whatever,
mental
I wasn't really paying
breakdown.
attention, but when that
By
motherfucker was
giving
on there, I
Detective
paid
Bennett a
attention.
detailed description of first meeting
His
Matt
gut,
in a Michael's
his
parking
fucking,
lot,
voice is
a
just,
story
ugh,
that Kelsey
bro, it's just-
herself could back up. He's making his explanation more and more plausible. Additionally, the police have records of Jeffrey's phone contacts and have seen that he does have a contact saved as Matt, meaning they may now have a solid lead on another suspect. After telling the detective more about meeting and hanging out with Matt, Jeffrey tells her about running into him on the night of the murders.
Where did you end up seeing him that night?
Fidgeting with foot.
It
He's been
was
doing that.
over by Waffle. Or what we call Waffle.
Waffle House? Okay. So yesterday, you told me that you and Kelsey hung out around the house. You didn't tell me about Waffle House.
Because that's where I went right after I left.
Okay, so you went over to Waffle House after you left Kelsey's house.
I don't want. I was trying. I'm trying
Gotta
to
shut down.
protect
Gotta
her.
shut down again.
Okay.
All I care about.
I can understand that.
Because of that, then I'm in trouble.
Okay.
And I won't be able to be there for her, but to protect her then.
So tell me about the Waffle House. Were you going over there to eat, or were you going over there to meet him?
No, I wasn't going over the meeting. I just drove over there, got a water,
Okay.
basically talked to the guy and all that.
So then, how did you encounter Matt?
When I was driving away,
Mm-hmm.
I recognized him. I said, "Hey, how's it going?" And
The entrance, I'm sorry.
the entrance,
I just want to make sure I'm understanding the entrance to the shopping center, like
The
from the
center.
main road?
the center, yes.
Okay.
Jeffrey is describing meeting Matt in a very public area. It's possible that Detective Bennett is trying to get details on Matt's specific location so that she can pull up security tapes from surrounding businesses and double-check Jeffrey's story.
Okay.
And
So Matt was over here.
he was right on the corner, right here.
Okay.
And
It's kind of slow for only being an hour.
How's it going? Because I stopped farther down.
Mm-hmm.
And
Let's wrap this up pretty quick.
I want to get a ride. And I'm like, okay, sure.
Okay.
And then he, I thought he was a nice guy, you know.
Uh-huh.
Never really know, I guess.
So where did you guys go after you picked him up?
He told me that he and this girl were, that he really liked, really loved on this girl. Which I understand. I love Kelsey. But we were driving, to down this way.
Towards Roswell.
Yes.
Back this way.
And he said, "Oh, I'm really loving this girl. She's lovely. I gotta go meet her tonight." And yes, she's my driver's license. I'm like, why? Why? And I'm like, I just want to see it. I mean, like, my picture's horrible. Let me show it. So I showed him, and he says, "I'm good." And I had her name.
I feel a weird laugh coming.
Okay.
Okay. What do you mean? You have my name?
Right.
He's like, "You're gonna do what I say," and that's
Okay.
no, that's oh, come on.
Okay.
And he throws into my family, and I realize that me has my name, my stuff. Then Natalie has Kelsey's, has hers.
So he's
has
trying
her
to pull the old, I was forced to do it.
families, her parents, her brothers, sisters, all that.
Might be a decent play, but I don't think it's going to work out well.
Okay, don't do anything to them. Just what do you want me to do? Like, just drive to Roswell High School, drive around. There's this girl that I'm supposed to be meeting. So he drives, we drive, and the car's there. The girls are
The girl's car. Okay.
big. And he says, "Well, doesn't look like she's in there, so just let me out on the corner. And then park over at the Publix."
Okay.
So I did. And I don't know where he went.
Okay.
He told me that I was going to do whatever he told me to do. But hurt my family.
Okay. And what else did he tell you to do? What did he say, though? I need to know the words that he said.
Just want to take it to my room.
I know.
That's all I want to do.
I know. He was threatening everyone.
I ain't buying
Do
it.
you remember the words that he said? Can you tell me the words that he said to you?
He says, "This has got to die."
And he's talking about the girl from the car? Okay.
He said, "If you don't do it, I'm going to shoot her. Shoot right down, and hunt everybody down."
Okay.
I didn't want him to come after my wife. He should have
What if he's actually telling the
stayed
truth, though? There's no shot, though.
With this, the police have at least a tentative motive for Jeffrey.
Sam, what's up with this guy? You're coming a little late. We got 10 minutes left. This is probably the last video I'm watching too. This guy's crazy. Absolutely just crazy. He's got like multiple personalities. I don't know what he's got. But he's coming up with a bunch of, he's acting crazy. His girlfriend's kind of a little crazy. His wife or whatever. He basically, I'm pretty sure he shot these two people in like cold blood behind a Publix. But he's coming up with a story that's basically somebody named Matt kind of like got him, figured out what his name was, and like kind of took him against his will and told him he had to kill these people. I don't really know how this ends in 10 minutes, but that's basically what it is.
While Jeffrey,
he claims, he just claimed that he basically was told to kill these people, and that if he didn't, he was going to hurt a bunch of people.
may not have known either of the victims. Matt was supposedly having some sort of lover's quarrel with Natalie Henderson.
Natalie Henderson? Who's that? That's the girl that died, right?
As some of the answers begin to fall into place for the detectives, there are still plenty of questions about the murders they still need answered.
Wasn't he wearing like a mask, though, whenever...
Did the gun come from? Your grandpa's gun.
At long last, Jeffrey admits that the gas
See, it doesn't
station
make sense
story
that he
was
would
a
get his grandpa's gun.
lie, and he did in fact steal the gun from his grandfather. Jeffrey admitting to this shows Detective Bennett that he genuinely wants to tell her the truth this time around. Finally, Jeffrey gives Detective Bennett details on how he killed his victims.
Oh, gosh.
And so he said, go now. Basically, to go and get him. And you went over and you said you opened the door. Which
Yeah,
door?
yeah.
Which door did you open?
The left side.
The left side door. So like right behind the driver's seat. Okay. Who got out of the car first?
He did.
He did. What did you say to them when you opened the door?
I basically said, get out right now.
Okay. And he got out.
They hesitated, and he was getting impatient, I could tell.
Yeah.
And so.
Was he still yelling?
He's Matt. Wait. So Matt never existed. Matt never existed. Okay.
Yes, he yelled the whole time.
Okay.
He kept on mentioning my wife, my family, my wife.
Uh-huh.
He's like, come on, hurry up, or your family's gonna get it soon. Okay, you go.
Okay. So you told him to get out, and the guy gets out. And then what? Did you have a gun out of your pocket at that point? Okay. So while he's yelling, and you have the boy out,
Oh, okay, wait.
what does the girl do?
She's coming out.
She's coming out too? Does she come out the same door?
Sad.
So they both come out the same way?
I was just going to, like, hit him a couple times, like, see if that would help.
Yeah.
But, I mean, he told me to kill him.
If that would satisfy him.
Yes, maybe if I...
Dude, if you have like if this actually happened, if I was in this situation, and you have the gun, why wouldn't you just shoot Matt or whatever? Right? What do I know?
hit the guy once, then maybe that would help.
Okay, did you hit him?
Yes.
Okay, what did you hit him with?
Like, my fix with the gun.
With the gun?
Like, hopefully, that be enough?
Yeah.
Is that enough? No, it's not enough.
Okay, where did you hit him with the gun? In the head? And what
Because
happened?
maybe that would satisfy him to where that might be good. Like he could forget all about it.
Yeah, where did, what happened to him when you hit him with the gun?
He fell out of the car.
He fell out of the car?
Dude, you know what? You know what I just thought of? Maybe I'm just super slow on this, but I feel like Matt is like this imaginary guy that's telling him to kill. You know, like it's just this. It's like his self-conscience. Like he's not actually there. It's just some fake dude that is in his imagination. I think that's what it is.
Did you ever
Maybe I'm
hit the
so
girl?
slow on that.
Was that the only time that you hit the boy? And he told you that wasn't good enough? That wasn't gonna work?
Mm-hmm.
So did the boy get up from the ground?
Yes.
And then what did the boy do?
He was basically yelling. He was starting to come at me, and I looked back, and he wasn't going to do anything. He kept on yelling to me, and all my craziness head. And next thing I know, I'm looking around. Next thing I know, boom.
There was an explosion?
He's on the ground.
Where was the girl when the boy was
Oh
coming at you?
gosh, bro, this actually
She
sad.
was over by her car.
She was by the car. What was she
no.
doing? Was she saying anything?
She was yelling at me, too.
What was she yelling?
She was yelling, what the f***? Why did you do that? I don't know. He's telling me to. She looked over there and saw him, and he yelled, kill her, kill her. Remember the f***ing family.
Oh yeah, this dude's.
So, okay, she said.
I don't know how it took me 50 minutes, but this dude isn't real. It's just Matt is this fucking voice in her head. So
Why are you doing this?
She kind of gasped when she saw, yeah. And then where he was just yelling at me so much about my family. I was like, okay, whatever.
Okay, did you hear the boom for her? Where were you when you heard the boom for her?
I was standing over by, in between the cars.
In between the cars? And she was by her car? Okay. Do you remember how she fell down? Did she fall down backwards or did she fall down forwards?
Just didn't look.
Okay.
I closed my eyes to all of that.
Okay.
Following his detailed confession, Jeffrey admits to stealing.
Shot her.
Natalie Henderson's credit card and using it at a nearby gas station. By making a full confession, Jeffrey can get things over with more quickly. But making any confession is rarely of any value to a suspect. The only time it might help is if the alleged crime is more serious than the actual crime, at which point details may mitigate how the crime is actually charged. However, a decision to take that route would only be something undertaken after an in-depth consultation with a lawyer. After gathering a few more details from Jeffrey, Detective Bennett ends this interview with far more answers than she was able to get last time.
Oh boy.
However, there's still one more surprise in store for detectives.
What is it? What is it?
While Kelsey may not have known anything about Jeffrey's murders, she did provide the police with the most key piece of evidence.
Oh boy.
He has schizophrenia.
Schizophrenia is a serious condition in which someone interprets their reality in an abnormal way.
Yikes.
This can include seeing hallucinations, hearing voices that aren't there, and extremely disordered thinking.
Dude, that's actually crazy.
You keep repeating that he couldn't have done that. Do you really believe that?
He told me that he would never do that. But his voice would make him.
Voices?
While most individuals who are diagnosed with schizophrenia do not commit acts of violence, they are at a higher risk for committing violence compared to the general population. One study even shows that those with schizophrenia who do act violently are more likely to have higher levels of trauma from their
I feel bad for her.
Yeah, that's his wife, I guess. Of 5 months, they only dated for like 5 months.
Experienced.
What medications does he take, do you know?
He's not on medication right now.
Oh, is he supposed to be?
Yes.
Oh my god.
When a person with a serious and persistent
wasn't on his
illness
meds.
such as schizophrenia stops taking their medication, the consequences can be serious or even fatal. According to his doctor, Jeffrey would experience extreme hallucinations and paranoia while not on his medication.
Dude, what's crazy is that he even had somebody named Matt in his contacts on his phone. I forgot about that. He probably made a contact for this dude, and it was just somebody in his head.
Included seeing messages from God on TV and believing that there were invisible cameras spying on him at all times. With all of this information in mind, the police reviewed their CCTV footage from the night of the murders and made a shocking discovery.
Oh gosh.
Matt, the supposed mastermind behind this whole crime,
Never existed. RIP!
wasn't real.
There was nobody else in that parking lot.
I heard the shots.
There was nobody else in that parking lot.
I heard.
So some invisible person shot them while you were walking towards them. Why'd you need to wear a mask? You were wearing a mask. The mask is in the back of your car right now. I saw it this morning.
Which one?
The V for Vendetta mask.
Yes?
Yeah.
I was scared the guy was still there.
Hey, was that a book? I think I read that book. I read that book, actually. You know what? I read a book. Guys. You should be proud. I read that book. And I watched the movie. The movie was better.
Did you think the mask was not going to have him kill you?
You know what? The movie was kind of mid, actually, if I remember.
You know, if there's some crazy person back there with a gun, you thought you could put a little plastic Halloween mask on your face and you'd be okay? That's the most ridiculous thing I have ever heard, Jeffrey.
What's going on? What did you do? What did you do? What did you do? I didn't do anything.
Bro, this is nuts.
No, you didn't do anything. Yes, you did. No, I didn't. What is going on? Don't leave my wife alone, please. Please.
Typically, if a suspect comes up with a wild story,
Bro.
such as being forced to kill by a man no one else can see, we can assume that they are feigning mental illness because they believe that in doing so, they could avoid getting charged for the crime. However, Jeffrey's case is different because we know the details of his illness. We know he came off of his medication and was displaying red flags indicative of severe mental and emotional decompensation, including increased anger, homicidal thoughts, and
Dude,
attempting to
that's rough for everybody, dude. The two people that got killed, that's crazy.
take his own life. Knowing this, there is a good chance Jeffrey genuinely believes this story about Matt. To him, Matt is real, and that night at Publix was a result of Jeffrey acting out of
oh my
fear from
gosh.
Matt's threats. While this certainly doesn't excuse Jeffrey's horrific actions, it does help us understand why two innocent teenagers lost their lives that night. Following his confession, Jeffrey was treated and evaluated by medical professionals until he was fit enough to stand trial. He then entered into a guilty but mentally ill plea, and on May 17, 2017, he was given a life sentence without the possibility of
God, they
parole.
still gave it to him!
There hasn't been much information on Jeffrey since his incarceration. However, on August 11th, 2017, he was somehow able to post a selfie to his Instagram account from prison. The photo was taken down soon after authorities were notified about its posting, and no information was ever released about how or why Jeffrey posted the image. When
That's crazy. You know what? I'm gonna be honest, like the whole, like, Stan, you came in at the good part, my guy. The last one we watched like an hour one right before this. It was mid. It was like 4 or 5, 10. Basically just another crazy girl that basically had some dudes kill her husband, pretty much. This one was kind of a slow, and it was annoying because of how annoying he talked. But like, dude, then at the end you just realize it's all in hell. If everything he says is true, which I kind of think it's true, he probably genuinely doesn't really like understand exactly. He probably thought that Matt was real. So like the ending was like 9 out of 10. It's kind of slow though, very slow build up. Good ending though. I'd give that one a 7. One's a 7 out of 10. I need to pick the video for the next one. I might honestly watch another one tomorrow. You guys see any that would like maybe be good? That kind of seems interesting. The Amazon Review Killer. That'd be interesting. I don't know. I might watch another one tomorrow, but I might play some GeoGuessr 2 or something tomorrow. Imagine one of those be like, dude, that's crazy though. Imagine like, bro, that's crazy.
Bro, that shit was wild. I ain't gonna lie.
Dude, he wasn't even real, dude. He's sitting there talking to himself. Oh, that's crazy. God, I feel so bad for literally, dude, Zach's right, dude. I feel bad for literally everybody. I feel bad for the girl.
Bad, bro.
I feel bad for obviously I feel bad the worst for the two that died. Because they probably were genuinely so confused. Just
So
imagine.
I missed that part of the story. So why did he kill the people? Because the guy told him to?
Yeah, because Matt told him to. And if he didn't do it, he was gonna harm, Matt was gonna harm
His wife. Okay.
The only crazy thing was Matt.
So does that mean deep down inside he low-key wanted to kill his wife? Or is that not how schizophrenia works?
No, I don't really know. I think
I didn't know
schizophrenia
is like based off of like
No.
your like
No.
intense like deep down inside or whatever.
No.
Yeah, that was
Amazon
awful.
Killer was looking interesting. I watched a few minutes of it. Amazon Killer is that next one maybe? Amazon Review Killer. Let's just watch a minute and see what the intro is.
All right, this is where we're at, Mr. Collette. While we were here, all right, my sergeant served a search warrant on your property. Okay? We have
I've
Kayla.
seen this shit.
Excuse me. We have Kayla in your property. She was locked in a container. Okay? She has told us that you shot and killed Charlie.
Bro, they're just gonna spoil everything right off
So
the
this
rip.
time I'm gonna need you to stand up and put your hands behind your back.
He's already
You're
handcuffed.
under- Okay. You're under arrest right now.
He's already a go.
Kidnapping.
What's up, EWU crew? It's the Raven,
I just want
here
to
to
see the
share
intro.
another shocking, interesting, or just strange but very true story with you. This is Todd Kohlhepp. Between 2003 and 2016, he murdered at least 7 people in South Carolina.
God.
And his story is one of the
W
most
narrator
bizarre
voice,
I've
no lie.
ever heard.
Dude, he's
What you're seeing is Todd's taped confession, and less than a minute in, he says this.
Okay.
I just think it's kind of funny.
What?
At the ending of all this,
Right.
you've helped us me get back with my mom.
Right.
And I'm helping you solve a problem that just cleans the books up. That
You see, Todd agreed to tell the truth about his crimes in exchange for a few things. First, he wanted to talk to his mother and give her a photograph, and second, he wanted to transfer money to the college fund of a friend's child.
There's probably not a lot we're going to be able to do for you. Giving you a clear conscience is one of the only things we can...
Honestly, I'm not worried about my conscience. You gave me what I wanted. What I wanted was to have the opportunity to take care of my mom, whether my girlfriend accepts it or not, to at least attempt to take care of her and her kid.
So wait, Stan, have you guys both, have you seen this, Archer?
Yeah, I've seen this.
So like, what's the gist? What's that got to do with like Amazon reviews?
I don't remember exactly, but it's been like
Stan,
a
do you know?
year.
Do you think it'd be worth watching?
I think it was pretty good. I watched the whole thing, and usually if I watch those and I don't like them, I just turn them off.
God, wait, what? 16 pounds at 5 years old? All right, I'll probably
Why is that video called "When Mark Ate His Victim"?
Where's that?
On the right, 3 hours long.
Ugh.
When Mark ate his victim.
Ugh. It's crazy. Not sure what happened. I just peeked the first couple of minutes. Amazon review kit. Like, I don't even know what that means. Like, what does that even mean?
Here, let me go see if I can get a gist of it, like a little summarization,
Like a
see
little
if you're interested.
A little summarization.
Okay, hold on.
I'll be definitely streaming tomorrow though. 8 o'clock. Stan, you like the cut, bro?
Damn.
Give me the gist. I just want to know how it relates to like Amazon review.
Hold on.
7 kills. That'd be our highest killer yet that we
Okay,
watched.
so dubbed the Amazon review killer by the press, he had left behind a chilling trail of comments on the popular e-commerce site for some of the very products he was using to kill his victims.
Oh.
So after he would kill people with a weapon, he would go on the site.
Bruh, okay, no, we're watching that. No,
Bro, my man's is literally doing a tier list.
I'm watching that.
My
No,
man's is doing a
that's
serial
nuts.
killer weapon tier list.
That's nuts. No, that's actually so nuts. Okay, that's actually gonna be good. I recommend it. I mean, it's all right. I mean,
He
you
said,
got,
"This
you
is
got
your
the
next
job
Warzone
done.
loadout. This is your next Warzone loadout."
He's going. This shit has 0 recoil.
I got my monolithic knife, bro. We're good.
That's crazy. All right, I'm gonna stream real quick. I'll be right back. All right, well, Stan, I'm gonna be live tomorrow at 8. Expect some juicy thumbnails, maybe, potentially. I'll be live tomorrow at 8. And dude, honestly, I'm really I want to play some games, but like at the same time, I really don't. I'd rather just watch videos. So I might just keep watching some videos. But yeah, I'm gonna head out. So I'll see y'all tomorrow at 8.